I didn't watch this VOD yet, so like bear with me if I'm like talking and you think I'm like an idiot. Just say it because I want to know why you think I'm an idiot, so I can tell you why I'm not an idiot. Let's start. I'm probably gonna pause a shit ton, so just be ready for it.
Do we want to run or do we not? It's Numbani. It's a best of 5.
I'm gonna pretend the casters aren't really talking because I don't really want to hear what they have to say.
But it's been a wild ride, and there's no doubt
because like their insight's actually pretty bad.
It's gonna be none other than the deadly duo that is ZP and Arsenal.
But that's because they don't really do insight. It's not that they're bad at insight, it's that they just don't do it.
Oh, we certainly will, Alex. Thank you so
I'm
much.
more concerned with like what heroes they pick, when they use their ults, and like why they use their ults. I just mute VODs. I like the songs though. Yeah, I can analyze another one after this. I'll see how long this takes. I plan on streaming till late, so I can do another one later. Alright, let's pause right here, because this is probably the most important part of the beginning. Like, at the beginning of the game, this is probably the most important part, is just picking your heroes. So like, we're going to see C9's on offense here, LG's on defense, or NRG. They have a D.Va, a 76, a Zenyatta, a McCree, Reinhardt, Lucio on offense. So that means they're probably going to want to take control of the top left when you're coming out of spawn, which is like that upper stairway. And the reason why I would assume this is because they have the Reinhardt and they have the McCree. Nice, dude. But the 76 is kind of useless everywhere except for the top left. So if you're going to run 76 on this map, you probably want to take over the top left. I don't know if I like the 76. I don't really know how this game ends. But I personally don't think 76 is that strong here. On the flip side, though, they have the Lucio, the Zenyatta, the McCree, the Genji, the Winston, and the D.Va, which is like a super aggressive defense. And they have like way more mobility than C9 does. So if I was going to like take bets on which team had the better fight here, I would say that C9 should lose because of the fact that they are going to get like outmaneuvered. They have like the Winston to deal with the 76. They have the Winston to deal with the McCree, and they don't really have an answer for the Genji other than the flashbang. But then they like LG or NRG still has gods to like deal with Reavers. So like it's really all about debit and how much damage debit can do, because there's so much damage coming out of the LG defense.
We can see Seagull on that Genji. Normal.
I don't really have control over the POVs, so like I can't help you with the POVs, but like let's see what happens. See, like they're gonna go lower. This isn't bad either because you can push out underneath here and get into the upper hallway. They don't even decide to, they just go straight to the point. Alright, so like what just happened here? They all just rushed into the back. I'm not sure why they thought that, like, it's probably gonna work out for them. I'm probably dumb and like they're probably gonna catch LG or NRG completely off guard with this. But the only reason why you would do this is because you don't want to get booped. How do I remove this? Can I click? How do I hide this? Is there like a button I can click? Are you guys like... Oh, you're right. I know what you're talking about. Thanks, fam. I'm new to this. So like they're going to go in the back. I can't like rotate the camera, so it's kind of frustrating. But pretty much what they're going to probably do is go up the staircase and try to take control of this upper balcony. And it's going to be on NRG to hold it or give it up, but they probably want to hold it. I would say that their whole team has to be up here, so like Milo is probably going to jump over and just try to catch them on this side and then just take the fight as if they had pushed up the stairs. There's not really an advantage to pushing from this angle as opposed to this angle. I personally would have rather than push from this angle just because the health pack is there. Like there's a health pack underneath this point and there's a health pack in the back. There's no health packs on this side to really work with. So I'm not really sure how, like they might take it, but I would say that this is a little bit more risky of a play, and if it doesn't work, like the amount of time that they wasted to get in that position is probably not going to be worth it.
Force LG to adapt and rotate entirely
but we'll see.
over, so good rotations coming out. So
I'm still not really sure where. All right, so C9's coming all from the upper balcony. I really don't see the benefit to this. Like I'm sure that they have one, but in my head it doesn't make sense because they could have taken this exact same fight from the top left and not wasted so much time walking in zigzags.
Probably getting the slight edge of it to start things out here. They sort of flipped roles here.
Displace the support from the safe spot with no dive. The only reason why I think it might be good is because it removes the risk of the Reinhardt being in position. So like, if NRG was running a Reinhardt, then this push would probably be smarter because they wouldn't have to fight into the Reinhardt from that upper balcony. But since they're not running a Reinhardt of their own, like NRG is not running a Reinhardt, it's just weird to me. But the one really nice thing about this is that since NRG didn't take control of this upper area, which I don't even think they could have because they would have gotten out-muscled by all this hit scan damage behind the shield because they don't really have a Reinhardt shield of their own. They're going to wind up in a position where I think that C9 actually has the advantage here because they can hold the high ground behind the Reinhardt shield, and they actually don't have an answer to the Reinhardt shield on NRG. All they have is this McCree and this D.Va. So this shield is probably never going to go down, and they're going to have to fight around the shield now.
Where now it feels like LG is on the defense, and C9 is or LG's on the attack, C9's on the defense. Gods though comes in quick.
Okay, I actually have no idea what just happened. The camera work was really bad here. I'm gonna assume that Gods went. Let me go back a little bit. I'll show you what I think happened. So like right here, I'm gonna say that Gods is actually behind them in this hallway, like this like curvy hallway behind them, and he just gets a free pick on Grego and Adam, who are standing behind Reaver right now. They should have scouted this. The fact that they didn't is huge, and like it's a massive play from Gods because like instantly they just are down 2 supports. Like they have nothing to defend right now. Like look, right here, everyone's focused on Winston. Like Milo's doing a really good job of distracting, but they completely forget about Adam and Grego who are behind, and now Adam's on like 5 HP and Grego's like, what is going on? So they're gonna like Gods is literally just gonna kill all the supports right now, and no one's gonna know how. So now they're like, what just happened? And Reaver's at 6 HP and they have no heals. He popped down his like heal shield already, his heal station. He has nothing. So like, this is a really good defense from C9 because Gods came in with like a massive play. And I don't know if this was planned or not, but the fact that Milo went up there, he forced all of them to look one way while Gods came in from the back. And then since Milo, like once Gods got the pick, they all had to turn around, and Seagull just came in and got a double dash and got a dash and got 2 kills, a double kill on his dash. So it might have been a set play, but it was really smart. Why do you think teams don't run Reinhardt on defense? Instead, they favor the Winston D.Va? I wouldn't say teams. Hold on, let me start with the first question. Do you think why don't teams run Reinhardt? The thing with Reinhardt on defense, he's good. Like, don't get me wrong. They could have held top right with the Reinhardt; it would have been completely fine. But the reason why you wouldn't run Reinhardt on defense is just because you want to favor a more mobile strat. Some teams are just better at aggressive stuff. Like, they're better at, like, fighting scrappily as opposed to, like, set plays. There's no Lucio for speed boost on the flashbang stun. Or I guess they have it, but there's no way you're going to get, like, a flashbang with the Reinhardt shield. The D.Va does, like, more than enough when it comes to damage resistance. And I would say, like, if you get that first pick, like they did, they killed the 2 supports. The Winston is way scarier than the Reinhardt would be, just because you can get from the top left to the top right, back and forth, and like abuse the mobility better. Like Reinhardt's kind of stationary, and if you can like abuse the stationariness of a Reinhardt on offense, then you can get a lot of picks. It might have also been that NRG knew that they were going to run the 76, and they just preemptively went for the Winston to deal with the 76. I'm not sure like what the meta was there, if they knew what was coming, like if they had an idea that they were going to run it. I mean, in theory, the Reinhardt and the D.Va is better than the Winston and the D.Va, because the D.Va should be able to deal with the Winston. But whatever. The pick triggered the all-in, or the all-in gets the pick? I'm not really sure. I think it was just a sloppy push on C9's part that they weren't watching behind them when they came in. Maybe they were. But if McCree, if Surefour had been looking backwards, he probably would have gotten the kill, and this whole thing would have been completely different. Because if Gods died there, it would have been really bad, but since Gods got the double kill, it's like, this game is very hard to like see how, like, it's hard to theory craft, because all it takes is like one really good play to like screw up an entire fight.
Takes out 2 as well. That's going to be a quick strike here from the side of LG, and despite C9's razzle dazzle, it's just not going to be enough.
That was like a house of cards.
And this is where like defense gets super hard, by the way, because if you'll notice, they just got plowed. Like that push was really like, it just didn't work out for them. But so now like Gods has 100% ult, Seagull's at 74. Like the 2 DPS ults are huge. Even Milo got 60% ult before he died. But if you look at like C9 here, they have nothing. Like they're at 12, 23, 24. Like High Noon's not really that good in general. Like it's a good ult, but it's not like, oh shit, I have High Noon, we're gonna win this fight. It's like, we have High Noon, we can like play around it. But the supports are even on ult. Dummy's a little bit farther ahead, but the 2 DPS ults, like the Dragon Blade's super scary against what Cloud9's running, Because the only answer they have to it is an Earth Shatter or a Flashbang. So if they can keep Seagull alive for like a Dragon Blade, then it's really strong.
Just completely collapsing. The loop around was.
But they're just gonna leave the D.Va there because they don't want him to get the ult.
Milo is the only
So Kai has to like run all the way back to spawn now. I'm pretty sure.
Other than that, everything.
Yeah, he's just running around with his pistol out, and this is really bad for C9 because now he doesn't have a suit, and they're fighting at ult disadvantage.
High ground this time to bet, of course, with his shield up to protect the other 4 or 5 folks there.
So like, look at what's happening here. Milo's sitting at the bottom. He's literally just waiting for the call. Like, all he wants right now is for someone to say, oh, I did damage to this person, I did damage to this person. He's just going to jump up and do damage. What's really bad about this push for C9 is, one, they don't have a D.Va suit, and they're super far behind. So Gods will probably pop High Noon here and zone them. It might be really bad if he does it without the D.Va, though, but we'll see what happens.
Taking shots out. Interesting pick, actually. Soldier resurfacing as he does from time to time. Reaver has selected.
But they're going back to this back alley again. Like, they really like this back hallway, and this back hallway is like super strong. I don't know how that happened though. Like, what just happened? I'm not really sure how Brandon just got that pick on Adam. Maybe he was just slow. I can go back a little bit and see if I can like find Adam on this push.
Selected him here just because
I don't see him.
Allow Soldier to take 3 shots down at the point.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened to Adam there, but him getting picked is really big because now they just don't have the Zenyatta. But this should not happen. I don't care how good someone is. I don't care like how amazing Surefour is at McCree. That should not happen. Like C9, like NRG is in such a huge position right now. All that needs to happen is Pooks and Dummy need to live. Like, they can't get double killed right here. They got High Nooned. It would look like Surefour got his High Noon off. But there's like really no reason why that should happen. They should know that that's going to come out. And they should be positioned in such a way that they're not going to get picked. This is like so game losing. Like, Adam dying was bad for C9, but the fact that Surefour just got a double kill on both supports is like I honestly don't know how. The thing that's the only saving grace that they have on LG right now is this Dragon Blade. I would assume Brandon's going to pop it and try to get some picks. But real talk, like, that shouldn't happen. Like, these two cannot die at the same time. That's like how you lose games.
Takes out both supports of LG. They're going to have to do this without heals if they want to hold this. A big Deadeye from Surefour.
Like, they actually just have no heals right now.
C9. God's is going to take out Surefour, but not be...
Alright. So again. Seagull dies with Dragon Blade. Milo dies with this. I'm assuming he got this after he died, though. I would say probably like 80%, or he got flashbanged and just never got it off. But they just blew their advantage so bad. Like, really good from Surefour to like get these picks. But I would say that it was more just poor positioning from NRG than anything else. Because like this really can't happen.
And it's just so rough for the team to bring this back.
The good thing though is that they have all these ults to work with for the second point, and like you assume you're gonna lose the first point when you're playing Numbani or just any map in general. So like holding the first point's always almost impossible. You have to like really outskill another team.
It did take a full 2 minutes, about half the time.
That was a pretty good time from NRG.
Get it now and get some time added. As they begin to push the payload, it is going to take a few seconds for that thing to wind up, so the defense has a little bit of time to try and set up.
So now they have so much to work with. Enigma almost has ult on the D.Va, they almost have Transcendence on Dummy, and they still have the Dragon Blade and the Monkey ult to work with here.
It's your responsibility as the defenders.
And the reason why
do not. I will do more analysis like this if people like it, or if people like want it. I need like more content, so I kind of want to like get into this because this is more interesting to me than most things. Alright, so like let's pause right here. 4 ults. Enigma just threw his D.Va ult in. I don't know if he's using this to initiate, like what the play is here. It seems kind of unnecessary. If they follow up this D.Va ult, it'll be good because they have the Winston and the Transcendence and the Dragon Blade. But you really don't want to pop Dragon Blade without your Lucio. So like Lucio, they need Pooks to get ult right now, and if I were them, honestly, I would have probably rather Enigma tank some damage with his D.Va suit just to build Pooks' healing ult. Because, like, there's no reason to throw this ult here unless you're going to follow it up with, like, a crazy team fight when they're out of position backing up, but I'm not sure that that's what they're going to do.
Here, C9 could be heading that way. Enigma
Like, no one's gonna die from this ult.
with the Diva
Like, you just don't die to Diva ult. So now they're just down a Diva ult, and it didn't really get them that much.
Power Rage at the ready. C9 gonna counter here with the sound barrier, so a lot of fireworks going from both sides here. Here comes
Alright, so
Seagull.
here, alright.
Usually C9
Whoa, I messed up.
So far, C9 strike.
Clicked the wrong thing.
Did take out
Sorry,
that
fam.
three members of C9, not gonna other members of C9.
Soldier
We're going back. We're gonna find it.
Trade out kill. Seagull is dead.
and healthy sure.
Does have the backup.
Alright, we're right here.
Seagull gets a double kill on both Grego and Surefour.
No, we're back up. We're back.
With the sound barrier, so
Alright, they pop Earthshatter. I guess that this was to like force a response. Alright, so what they did was pretty good, I guess. Enigma forced a response from them, they all had to back up, and then it forced, where is he? It forced Grego to pop his ult, because he was like, okay, they don't have mech right now, like we can fight this. So they pop drop the beat on C9. But they don't, all they have to work with right now, they're gonna have Earthshatter in like 2 seconds, or they have Earthshatter. They're gonna have Adam's ult in like 5 seconds, 2 seconds, and then they're gonna have all these ults. The problem with playing defense in general is that if you're at ult disadvantage, it's really hard to get things going, and the same goes for offense. So like C9 here probably can get away with just using drop the beat. Popping Earthshatter is not that big of a deal if they get like a lot of value out of it. But what needs to happen on LG right now is they can't pop Transcendence and drop the beat at the same time, or like you really don't want to, because that's all you have to work with. So Milo looks like he just popped Monkey ult, and they're gonna drop the beat and pop Dragon Blade. So like if they don't get a 5k or a 6k here, it's like really bad for them, because they popped 1, 2, 3 ults and they actually have no other ones. So like even if C9 loses this push, they should just be able to come back in for the next push and destroy them, just because of the fact that they popped 4 ults on defense for like LG.
A lot of fireworks going from both sides here. Here comes Seagull in over the top.
So here, this is like actually perfect scenario for Debit. Like this is a really good play, and this is like probably the only reliable way to deal with Genji ults if you're in your pubs and shit. LG is defending. So they pop drop the beat on Pooks, they pop Dragon Blade on Seagull. Like that's like a normal combo, you know? Like that's how you want to use your Dragon Blade, that's how you want to use your drop the beat, like together with those 2 ults, because a Dragon Blade by itself isn't that scary, but a Dragon Blade on top of a drop the beat is like super scary. But the correct response from Debit was just to instantly Earthshatter the Genji, because if you Earthshatter the Genji, he can't reflect it, and there's no counterplay from the Genji. It's literally, was the Genji on my screen? And if he was, he's dead. And that's going to be a common theme for probably the rest of the map, or until Milo goes Reinhardt, is that whenever Debit has his ult, he can just use it whenever he wants, because there's no response. Like, they don't have anything to block an Earthshatter on LG. All they have is Milo's shield. Milo's bubble, and like Milo's bubble is super easy to kill.
Gonna meet the Earthshatter instead. You never want that.
So Gods pop High Noon, I guess, at the same time. Yeah, they. So like, here's what happens here. This is like I guess it worked out in LG's favor because C9 was still at ult disadvantage from the beginning of the game. But they're down all 5 ults right now on C9. Like on LG, they just use all of them, like literally all of them. Everyone's at below 10% ult. That's not really ideal on defense. You really don't want to be in this situation. Even though they're gonna win this fight, which like looks really good for them, like the next fight, they're gonna have like such a hard time winning the next fight that it's probably not gonna have been worth it to have popped High Noon, drop the beat, Transcendence, and Dragon Blade at the same time. Like they're probably gonna regret this. Like they're pushing them into their spawn, but the cart is still behind them, and there's not much else to gain here.
It's really hard to hold that first corner, and they did so beautifully, not allowing them to even get out of their spawn here. The payload is barely halfway past.
Like if Adam gets Transcendence, that should be enough for them to take the second checkpoint, because they're gonna have Transcendence way before LG. But LG has nothing to work with right now. Like they actually have no ults. So any ult that C9 can drop right here is probably gonna be uncontested.
Calls out to Kai and Debet to go ahead and hop up there and deal with those threats, but the payload is continuing to push now, finally being contested by that enemy Reinhardt.
Alright, both teams getting into it once more, just treading lightly here on the payload. They both trade out kills.
It's not the biggest deal that Surefour dies there, because they get the return kill with the Debit on the Winston. Although Gods is playing really well right here. I don't know how he's getting all these kills, but they're still at ult disadvantage on defense. But Gods has ult again. What just happened? Why did this video just go full potato? Stop switching to... Like, why would it switch? Thank you.
Lucio shots just rolling through the window. Could have been fatal there.
So like, here's what happens here. Adam pops Transcendence here, which is good because they're all like he has the advantage and he knows he has the advantage. Like there's no doubt in Adam's mind that Dummy doesn't have ult. So an uncontested Transcendence is like really, really strong. And Surefour and Reaver are pretty close to their ults, so is Kai, so they can push this next checkpoint with like High Noon, Aimbot, and like the mech suit. So like he's pretty much just popping this Transcendence to ensure that they can get around this corner and keep, I guess, Kai and the rest of the team out.
D.Va ult actually comes out on the side of the defense. It actually went all the way into the building, though, so definitely not going to catch any kills that way.
But there's no response here. Milo switched off the monkey to go Reinhardt because he realized that he had no answer to the other ult. But like this was just an easy take because they were at such an ult disadvantage. And this is where LG's probably like, oh, what just went wrong? I don't know what just went wrong. But like you can't use 5 ults on defense at the same time and expect to like hold. Like you're gonna lose the next point. It like C9 could have wiped like 3 times, not 3 times, but C9 could have wiped. You can pop 5 ults and get a team wipe on defense, but like you're probably gonna lose the next fight. And like a lot of players in this game have like this mentality that like they can outplay the ult disadvantage, but like it never happens, you know? Like it's like, oh, I have really good aim on McCree, I can get a flashbang kill, like I'm just a better player. But like if you're not playing the MOBA aspect of this game, like you're gonna get plowed. And all they had to do in reality was not pop Transcendence on defense in that corner hold. Like that's literally all they had to do. If Dummy had ult there and they fought into Reaver's aimbot and the mech suit with Transcendence, they would have been fine. But they literally had none. Like they wasted all 6. If they had just kept one defensive ult and maybe like High Noon would have been okay. Milo actually came surprisingly close to getting Earthshatter, and Pooks came surprisingly close to getting Drop the Beat. But if they had any of those 3 spells, it would have been a completely different game, and they probably could have held that corner. But now they're just like, now they just get the second checkpoint. Like that's it. It only took 1 fight. They lost the 1 fight when they popped 5 ults on LG, and then they just took the next one for free because there's no way that LG could respond.
Specifically switching onto that Zarya now for the defense, but ults all across the board otherwise.
I will note Reaver didn't get a whole.
Do you think it was just a miscommunication, or do you think they were just so focused on team wiping on that one defense? I think it's just a bad understanding of like, or it's just like a poor understanding of like game sense, like in some form. It's like you think that you're winning a fight, and this you can do this on offense. Like don't get me wrong, you can pop 5 ults on offense if you really want to, because if you're gonna win the fight, you're gonna win the fight, and it's huge to like team wipe on offense because you're gonna get a cap point. But on defense, you have to like switch your mentality to like being kind of conservative, but still playing aggressively. Like you can't pop 5 ults at once on defense to like hold the second checkpoint. It wasn't bad because they did choose to take the fight like in C9's base, pretty much like at their spawn. So like in theory they could have maybe gotten their ults before C9 capped and taken another fight, but they didn't. They needed the cart to be more back. Like if the cart hadn't made it to the bus, it would have been fine for like LG to have popped their 5 ults because the cart would have been so far back that it wouldn't have mattered. Like they would have gotten their ults again. They could have taken like 2 more fights before they got to the cap point. But since the cart was like at the bus and like still inching forward, that next fight, like they didn't have that much distance to push the cart, and then they were just at ult disadvantage. So like they didn't have, like LG had no answer to that next push.
But he was a big distraction, did allow other members of C9 to move in and do what they need to do. It's one of the most distracting ults in the game, both because of what it does and people dodging. But here comes Milo, does it, the Earthshatter knocks out 3 members of C9, not gonna.
Okay. That was actually such a sick play from C9. I don't know who just got those kills. It was Reaver and Kai, but it wasn't Surefour. So like they threw in the mech suit. I'll show you again. Like it was definitely, I don't know if it was scripted, but it was probably scripted. Like they throw in the mech suit and suddenly everyone just has to like scatter. And there's no, since they're scattering, they're not even looking at where they're coming from. Like this is such a set play. Actually, it's pretty sick. Like they throw in the mech suit, their whole team fucking like runs in circles like what the fuck is going on to dodge this mech suit. Kai comes in and they're just like, now there's a mech suit and there's a monkey chasing me and I have to dodge both of them, and if I get caught by either of them, I'm dead. And at the same time, this High Noon goes off. So now there's suddenly like a mech suit to dodge, you have to get behind a corner, You have to get behind a corner that's not facing the McCree, and you have to get behind a corner that's not going to get you killed by the monkey. And like, this is actually a really good play. And the correct play came out of Milo to Earthshatter. Like, this is the only play that Milo can make that's good, is just to like hit this ult, and it's like really smart, because like if he gets this ult, it's fantastic. Did Debit dive before? I don't know what Debit did. Let's watch.
Both because of what it does. Oh my.
I'm not really sure. Oh, Debit's the monkey. It wasn't Kai Kai. I'm wrong. Kai Kai's the diva.
People dodging, but here comes Milo. Does it?
But like Kai, so like this is actually why it's so sick, is because Surefour hits this high noon, Milo has to face him, and then Kyle's fucking mech suit is behind him now because he had to Earthshatter forward like this direction, and then the suit was over here. So even though this high noon gets canceled, it doesn't matter because now they're just down a Reinhardt. I don't know what happened to Dummy. Dummy's about to die though.
Knocks out 3 members of C9. Not going to be enough though. Kai Kai set the way with.
All right, I don't know what just happened, because this is like super risky play from LG. Like, they're really banking on. So like, let's talk about what should happen here. Seagull shouldn't be here, first of all, because like if he was with Dummy right now, they could have ran the Dragon Blade into the Transcendence and gotten like 3 or 4 kills, because they have no ults right now on C9. But Dummy just died with Transcendence to a Winston when he had enough time to hit Q. And like, it might pay off for them. Again, I haven't watched his VOD. I actually don't even know who wins this map. But like, if Dummy had hit Q with Seagull right here, or Pooks hits it with Seagull, they can probably win the fight 2v6 if they do it well. Like, if they like coordinate well enough. Because there's no way for them to kill a Dragon Bladed Genji with a Transcendence on top of him. Like, the two of them can literally just kill everyone. But since Seagull's by himself and Dummy's dead, this is like a very risky play that Brandon's about to go for, where I'm assuming he's just going to pop his ult, but I don't know how this is going to turn out.
Destruction went in 3 kills here from C9. Seagull coming from the back line.
I'm sure he's just going to get plowed. Completely, yeah. This is like crazy. Like, it was cool that they popped they dropped the beat for him, but if they had Transcendence, he'd still be alive and slicing through them. So like, that's just a miscommunication and like just good play from C9, I guess, to recognize what's going on. But I would say it's like more of a misplay from LG than anything, because if they had just stuck the Transcendence with the Dragon Blade, there's no damage here that's gonna go through it. But if Dummy doesn't get his ult off here, then it was not worth it for him to save it. Yeah, so like, this is like really bad from LG, but I don't want to like call people out, but like, it's a sloppy play because the Transcendence could have won them the fight if they had comboed it with the Dragon Blade. Because there's still nothing here from C9. Like, C9 has no ults. It was good play. Like, that push from them was sick. Like, that set play from C9 was like completely sick. But they had a way to respond to it, and they just didn't take it.
But that is an incredibly fast final stretch there for Cloud.
But that was a very, like,
I'm not sure what happened.
So like, it came down to mistakes from both teams, I guess, because C9 hit like some really good headshots on, or that first fight where Surefour got the double kill on the supports after Adam died was like huge. Like, that was like completely game changing, because LG should have been able to hold the first point even longer than they did, but the supports died to a high noon that killed both supports. Like, that can't happen. So like, the cool thing about Overwatch, I guess, is that teams can make really good plays, and teams that make really good plays can like beat teams that don't make plays at all, or teams that just don't know how to respond to the plays. So like, it doesn't matter. It matters like to an extent how good your like aim is and like how good you use your spells, but like, if your positioning is bad and you don't know how to like respond to certain situations, and if you're not paying attention to ults in your head, then you're gonna get rolled over. And I would say that LG could have held them for 2 more pushes if they had used Transcendence better earlier. You know, like on the second fight when they lost the Transcendence and they dropped the beat and they dropped 5 ults at the same time to like push C9 into their spawn, it wasn't worth it because C9 just walked in and killed them. And then here they like saved ults for some reason, where they could have used them. So like, it's kind of just misplays, but it's not like on anyone's fault. Like, maybe someone's making the calls. I don't know the LG like comm priority or whatever, but like, if they had used Transcendence better, I would say that they could have probably held them for another 2 minutes at least. So like,
And they have, you know,
and it's all about time right now. So like, that's a pretty good time from C9 considering how bad their first push went. But that was really all that went wrong was their first push.
Defense was a good point A defense at times,
So
but
let's
anytime you're facing a sub
go
6
forward.
minute time, it's just rough.
That's true. 5 minutes, 1 second is not a time I would have to like to have to beat in competitive. So I'm happy that it's just these pro players having to battle it out instead. Options at a few seconds, and I say May because Surefour's on May, and it's a pun, sort of. But no, Surefour looks like he will be likely to stay on.
Okay, this is pretty cool actually too. So now C9's on defense and LG's on offense. LG is running pretty much the exact same thing that C9 did, except they swapped out the Reaver 76 for a Seagull Genji. So now they have a Genji instead of a 76. That's the only difference. The defense, however, now has a Winston and a Mei. LG was running Genji, I believe, instead of Mei. But the thing is here that the Mei is actually super good against this comp because there's no Reaper. And I don't know how this map turns out, but I would say that like pushing into this without a Reaper is going to be quite difficult. You don't really want to run Reaper on Numbani offense though, because it's like super hard for you to get back to the fight if you die. But this is a very tanky defensive lineup from C9, and as long as Grego and Adam can like stay alive, they should be in a good position. And what's really nice about the Mei is that the upper hallways on the first point are like, you can abuse them super well with the ice wall. Like you can just block teams from getting to you, and you can just like reset a fight on your own terms with the Mei ice wall. So like, let's watch. Let's see what happens.
And Mei's ice block and ice wall can actually stall for 20 seconds or so just by itself with that combination. So yep.
Mei is also just really good for like stalling time on points because you can like block people off in a corner, you can like hit your shift and just sit there. But 5 minutes is a really good time from C9, so like the Mei in itself is just to stall, and even if you're not going to win, like you'll still stall. So we'll see like how it works out for them. I still don't really know who wins this map. Like I haven't watched this VOD, I didn't watch this live. I'm just like watching it now. But pretty much if Adam and Grego like hide in the back, they're not going to get touched.
On King's Row, and they only stuck with it for the first point. That makes sense because payload, obviously there's a lot more flanking routes and things like that. You can deal with the wall a lot easier, but having Surefour on the Mei,
yeah, they're playing the clock here because they have a really good time. Like their time's actually super good. They know that they like had a really successful offense, so all they have to do is like try their best to draw it out past 5 minutes, and like 5 minutes is pretty quick on this map.
Still one of the best hit scan players in the game. Many indications still goes on tank because they trust his decision-making in game sense. And I think that's why Surefour is on the Mei.
Yeah,
but
his right click also is he's used to.
The Mei is also just super good against the Genji and super good against the Reinhardt, and like very good against the Diva too. So like Surefour shouldn't really die. I don't know how they kill him, to be honest.
Moving along the right side, so they don't want to engage just yet. They want to go.
Okay. I don't know why they went this way. Some teams do this. I've seen teams do this. You just kind of speed boost in and go around the back and then go up the stairs. But the Mei should have told them to stop. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I would assume Surefour is about to just lock them in the staircase.
Go around and get the high ground that way. And Surefour is going to move.
Because they have, like, where are they going now? They're going to come up the staircase and what? A Mei is going to wall them in, and they're just going to fucking sit there.
Let's see if C9 can actually get here in time to capitalize on this.
Like, what are they going to do here? They're like, oh shit, there's a Mei. What do I do? Now they're going under.
Now, and they actually got over there because they ran completely.
Now half their team's cut off. Like this is why the Mei is really good on this point.
For him to get in there and start taking some right clicks on Pooks, nearly gets the kill before protecting.
Now Surefour is literally just keeping the supports occupied while the rest of his team gets kills.
Winston player Debet, Kai getting a kill, Reaver getting a kill, defense standing solid.
Note the respect from LG for that ice wall. They were planning on going up there together. They saw a man and said, nope, this is not going to work out. And now the rest of C9, they're able to pick off an LG team that really didn't know what to do after getting caught unawares.
But yeah, so like that's why Mei is good on this point. Someone's like, oh, we're running Mei. I don't like Mei. It's because you can wall off this lower entrance. You can wall off the upper entrance. You can wall off the other lower entrance on the back here. You can create so many shitty situations with this hero on this one specific point. It's not going to be good on the second point. It's not going to be good on the third point. But on this first point, there's so many small corridors to fight in that an ice wall can just lock a team out of position. So like
by that.
that's why it's good on this point if anyone's like curious as to why it's
They're
good.
burning a lot of valuable time off the clock because, again, Josh, you looking at.
But like forget the ult advantage, they have no way to deal with Surefour right now. Like he's just look at how cocky he can play because they have no way to kill him. Like there's actually no way for them to burst him aside from like a double headshot from Gods or something.
Yeah, it did take Cloud9 2 full minutes to take A, so they're still at least on pace.
Like let's talk about C9's or not C9, LG's train of thought right now. They like when you lose the first point on a push, it's like super hard to take the next push because you're at ult disadvantage and you like know you're at ult disadvantage. Like Reaver almost has ult, Grego almost has ult, like they all are literally about to pop 100% within the next like 10 or 15 seconds. C9 still has a shitload of time on Zenyatta, a decent amount of time on Lucio, and a lot of time on this Reinhardt. So there's so many answers to this Dragon Blade right now. Like, if Adam hits Q, this Dragon Blade does nothing. And if Kai runs at Gods when he high noons, the high noon does nothing. So, like, I actually don't know what C9 or LG's plan is right now. But they realize that they have to go main because this is the only spot where they can get him without an ice wall boning them.
But it has to be here. I think Seagull is going to charge in and pull that Dragon Blade out. Can he get the kill? Flashbang immediately does save McCree's life there as he hops down away from Seagull. Surefour on that. May did pop his ultimate as well. There is a blizzard in effect. There's that Diva ult coming out. Looks like it gets 2 kills. Enigma.
That can't happen. That was crazy, actually.
Opener that they needed for LG to get in here.
Reaver, though, holding it down, does get 2 kills before dying to God. Surefour still alive, though. He's in an ice block with not a whole lot of friends along with him.
So, like, again, sometimes this game comes down to, like, really just good plays or, like, lucky plays. But, like, Enigma shouldn't be getting a double kill with his Diva mech suit. But the fact that he did is probably going to win them this point. But the good news for C9 here is that they forced out Poox's drop the beat. So they have, like, they're not going to be at massive ult disadvantage from, like, a support standpoint for the next push.
We'll be able to stall this out for a little bit with the help of Kai here. They're hanging in there.
Although Gods is having a lot of trouble killing this Diva.
Still going to be a pest here on the point. And even though C9 is on the path to losing this point, look at all the time that's bleeding off.
Yeah.
But this was like a really good hold.
Themselves in a situation where even if they lose here, one more team wipe should
because they forced so many ults out of LG to take the cap.
I agree. Nice kill there.
But they're just delaying right now. Like they're just saying, all right, fuck it, we're just gonna stop the clock, and like that's fine.
Sending him back with the rest of his team, so you kind of just gave him what he wanted. LG does finally claim the point and took the.
I wonder if Surefour's gonna stay on the Tracer. He just went the Tracer. I think he might have just went Tracer just to like try to slow down the cap.
Only have 2.5 minutes. This is actually
but if he stays on the Tracer, then it could be good.
It's very bad for them. Like I said.
And I guess, all right, so like there's 2 ways to look at this, right? You're running Tracer on defense. It's really good on defense because there's so many health packs and little corridors on this map for you to play around. Like there's a health pack on the right of Surefour right now. There's a health pack in front of him. There's a health pack behind that statue on the top left. There's a health pack on the left of him, like directly left, and there's a health pack like diagonally left. So he has so many corners and like health packs to deal with. And the only way that he dies is if Gods gets a flashbang off. Or I guess Dummy gets like a cool like headshot or something with Discord. But he has a lot of room to play. So like he can also like completely destroy this Reinhardt. I don't know how well this goes for him, but the logic here is mostly like the hero is just good on this specific point because there's so much area for a Tracer to get around and there's so many health packs to abuse that you can like force teams to look in the wrong direction while like Reaver hits his pot shots. And like there's nothing scarier than a Winston bubble on top of someone with a Tracer. Like a Tracer and a Winston bubble at the same time is like pretty devastating, and you can almost play it like a Koth map, which is pretty much what their lineup would be suited for right now, is like a really good Koth fight.
They can't really afford another team wipe here. If they get wiped out, that's probably going to be it. So for LG, the stakes for every...
I mean, Sticky Bomb or Pulse Bomb is just really good against Reinhardt. And they don't really have an answer other than Gods. So if Surefour can outplay Gods, then they'll win the next... They'll like win, you know? Tracer's also just super good at delaying the cart. Because if teams push up while like one person caps, you just have this Tracer that can like... That was a little bit mistimed. So like, let's talk about that for a second, I guess. So like the idea was good, but it was like they were off by like a second. If Kai had jumped in, or Debit rather, had jumped in like a second earlier, or Surefour just waited a second, that whole thing might have went a lot smoother for them. It's not a bad trade to like trade the Reinhardt for the Tracer at the end of the day. Like it worked out in their favor. But if they had literally like waited 2 seconds, or one of them had gone 2 seconds earlier, they could have gotten the Winston on top of them with the Tracer at the same time, and Dummy wouldn't have had the opportunity to like get the Discord and the click on Surefour.
as a result. Surefour does go down, but it was such a good initiation from C9 that things are going well for them. But here comes Seagull in the back line, Dragon Blade at the ready, trying to turn this back for LG, moves to the back.
But they get very aggressive here with their ults. LG does, and like it's pretty good, I guess. Because they recognize the Surefour is dead and the Winston's dead. Or no, they kill the Winston, but they recognize that the Winston doesn't have ult, and they just pop the Dragon Blade to get the kills. I don't think Reaver kills Brandon here, but the fact that they were down at DPS made it work in their favor. Like they but I don't know. It's a risky play because they don't have Milo, but it works out in their favor because Gods gets the pick on Kai and because Debit doesn't have his ult up.
Back slicing and dicing, does take out Reaver, goes down to Adam in the end, so it's an okay response to the Dragon Blade, but Seagull at least keeping momentum here.
I'm not sure that this was good though. Like I didn't like it at the beginning and I still don't like it right now, is because Adam still has Transcendence, and if they just wait like 10 seconds here on C9, they can just push into them uncontested, unless Milo hits like a really fat Earth Shatter, which maybe he will, but I don't know.
Just with the zoning ult of the Deadeye and the Transcendence keeping everybody alive. So every second is so precious, and as the defense engages once again, Surefour doing the flank.
Yeah, so Surefour is just like dicking around on them while Debit gets on Gods. And if Gods is preoccupied, Surefour has like free reign. So like this is why like the pick combination is good, because like Gods can't deal with Surefour right now. Like they don't have an answer to Surefour. I don't know where Surefour is, but wherever he is, he's not getting shot at by Gods because Debit's like all up in his dick.
Right now, I'm pretty confident.
So now Surefour's just going ham. Like he's got a kill on Milo, he got a kill on the Zenyatta, and it's all because Debit made space for him with the Winston. Now they're just like picking them apart. And this is just like a positioning thing. Like they got caught out. Like Gods was alone. Like he had no help there against that Winston. They all needed to like group up a little bit more.
They can struggle all they want, but it's not going to change the fact that C9 is up 1-0 now in the series.
It actually feels like LG is kind of throwing in the towel. They have not approached the payload, and now all these ults are coming out, but it's essentially for naught. Great pulse bomb toss, sticky, very nice Kobe jump shot.
They just have no, they don't know how to deal with this Tracer right now. Like, and this is like C9's playstyle, and why it works for them is because they're so good at playing around each other. Like, Surefour goes in, makes them look at him, and then suddenly a Winston jumps in, or a D.Va like flies in at the same time. And then there's like 3 heroes on your dick, and you don't have any answer to them. Like, what? Alright, so like, the only way that that fight goes in their favor is if Milo hits an Earth Shatter. And he's had it for the past 2 fights, but he hasn't had an opening to use it because of the fact that the Tracer's just been on him. So this combo in itself, like when you have an Earth Shatter, when you have Reinhardt and they only have Winston, it's usually pretty easy for you to hit an Earth Shatter because the Winston bubble is the only thing stopping you from getting your ult off. But when you have this Tracer hero shooting you in the back and you have like no way to look at the like, you're not going to Earth Shatter a Tracer because you're like, it's risky, like you might miss. So if the Tracer's on you, you have to stand there and like try not to take damage, but it's on Gods to keep the Tracer off you. But Gods can't keep a Tracer off you if there's also a Winston on top of you. And if the Winston jumps to the Reinhardt at the same time and like there's a bubble, the Reinhardt still can't ult because the bubble's going to block it. It's a lot to deal with, and they're just overwhelmed. They're trying really hard to run this. They were trying really hard to run the Genji, but the Genji gets slammed by a good Tracer and a good Winston. So like if you get Discord on a Genji with a Winston, like it's just over. Like the Genji's actually just useless. And like they're just abusing the fact that they know how to play around their heroes and the fact that LG doesn't know how to respond.
Is definitely going to slow them down, giving them a hamper,
and now they're running a Reaper because they're so afraid of Debit, but they still need an answer to Surefour. Like all they have to kill Surefour now is just the Zenyatta and the McCree. And as long as the McCree is, as long as Surefour never engages the McCree, he's gonna just be able to do whatever he wants to this team.
Should be saying GG's any moment. There you go.
And that's like, that's all it took.
So first game going
so like that's pretty much it. I mean, it sounds easier to, it's easier to like think about than it is to execute, but they're just abusing the mobility of their heroes and the fact that like LG's just unable to deal with it because of the fact they're running this Genji who's like really reliant on flanking and not reliant on like team fights. Like if a Winston jumps your Zenyatta, what's a Genji gonna do? Like pretty much nothing. So if a Winston and a D.Va dive a McCree, like a Genji can't help the McCree. A Reinhardt can't really help the McCree. So like that's that. But that's a good win from C9. I mean, I'm assuming that they lose the next map because it goes to the next.
was gonna do
Watch
it.
the next
I was
one.
gonna do it at one point.
Where is it? I just went with the one with the most VOD views or whatever. C9, no. Where is it? All these LG VODs have so many views. Here it is. Cloud9 versus Luminosity map 2 Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a completely different map than New Bindings. Like let's see what happens.
C9. I don't know one of the most stable.
My voice is like starting to die already, but
for their C9. But yeah, you bring up a good point. C9 has had one of the most stable rosters.
Tracer's become the default pick to pick a Tracer and Genji ult really fast. It's like sleight of hand to before and let him be free. Yeah, it's like you just play around your heroes correctly, and like you can do a lot even if you're not hitting all your shots or like you feel uncomfortable with your hero. If you like have the right playstyle, you can make up for lack of skill per se. And it doesn't matter how good anyone's aim is right now. I mean, like, Gods was hitting his shots, but it doesn't fucking matter, right? Like, Surefour didn't hit, like, 100% of his shots there, but, like, it doesn't fucking matter. Because there's nothing that they can do to stop him. Like, Gods has to kill Surefour, or Surefour is never going to die. Like, they just overwhelm them. And, like, okay, there's two ways to play Gibraltar defense. One of them is, like, you play a super passive, like LG is doing, which is fine because they're running this Junkrat McCree. This is a pretty hard lineup to execute, by the way. Like, this is not an easy lineup to win with on this first point because there's not many good angles for the Junkrat. Like, you can deny the server room or you can like deny the high ground a little bit, but it's very hard to do damage reliably. The good thing for Junkrat though is that the tire is very hard to track because there's so much geometry up here for you to like run the tire around and like flip it over the roof and like put it down the staircase. You can like climb this wall, go over it. Like there's a lot of spots to throw a tire if you get it. But this is a very mobile lineup. Like Enigma and Milo can do a lot with Pooks. The Harmony Orb is good. A Discord plus a pipe from the Junkrat is like massive damage. There's a lot of good things about this lineup, but it's very hard to execute. Yeah. On C9 side, they have like the same thing kind of. They're running like the exact same lineup, except they have a Genji instead of a Junkrat. And it's not, this is like a kind of a toss-up matchup. Like Junkrat doesn't do poorly against Genji because of this, like the remote trap. Like you can dead it and the Genji can't really do anything about it. So like you can do damage to the Genji pretty reliably as Junkrat, as long as you have your trap up. Or your sticky bomb, whatever. But they're going to get this point for free, and Seagull's just going to sit up here and spam. Or the first point, rather. But the first point doesn't really matter. It's all about can you get up top. And that's what I mean. So he saved the shifts just so he could do damage to the Genji, because there's no counterplay from the Genji to dodge that. But this is just like a very straightforward defense from LG. Like their game plan is pretty obvious. Like they're just going to sit up here and deny this entire roof. And as long as they can hold this roof, it's going to be very hard for C9 to take control of the ramp. Like, Pooks is going to sit up here and make sure nobody dies. I don't know where the Zenyatta is, probably in this left side room. But they don't have any way to, what's it called? Like, if C9 never controls this upper area, it's going to be super hard for them to get the cart past this checkpoint just because of the fact that there's going to be, like, pipes just dumpstering them from the
solid so far. Of course, we are just now reaching that car wash area. Surefour getting super low on health, but the Harmony,
I don't know how this push goes or how it holds, but
he is just continuing to throw out those shurikens at whoever he can. It looks like he is
if you guys have any questions, ask them, because I really appreciate questions. Because I might be wrong. Like, don't take anything what I'm saying like as like law. Like, I'm just thinking, this is how I think about the game, and it's not like right or wrong. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. I guess you can reflect the Junkrat trap. The fact that that just happened is kind of crazy because it's not giving Surefour the kill, so I guess you can't reflect it. I think someone shot Seagull at the same time they threw the trap out and it killed him because the damage from it had to have been a reflect though. I don't know what just happened. I think he reflected the trap and then dead it on himself. If that's a thing, that might be a thing. But or he like got shot and there was like a roller under him. I can check it again, but that's like really bizarre to me, which is, I don't know what just happened. I'll answer your question as soon as I figure out how the hell Brandon just died. Alright, he's at 150 health. He's at 90 health. 90 health, 90 health. I think that this is Reaver. This might be Reaver right here. Probably a Reaver. It's definitely a Reaver. So Reaver has an angle. He's definitely going to shoot Seagull right now. Yeah, I'm not sure what just happened here. I'm going to say that he reflected the sticky and he did it on himself and it did the damage to him. But it could have been like a combination of the... that had to have been what happened. So he just reflected the sticky. I guess you can I knew you could reflect the trap, but I didn't know that you could dead it on yourself. So the fact that like that pick is really all they needed to make this push. And like that's a huge pick on Surefour's part. If it gets reflected by the Junker, so it's a suicide. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So yeah, he blocks it. He like can reflect it, but then the Junker has to manually dead it, which is bizarre. Have people started holding upper now instead of server room, and why? It's like completely like lineup dependent. Like if you have the Junkrat, it's probably better to hold up top. But if you're running like a normal Reinhardt McCree 76 or something, you can hold the server room, or a Reaper. Reaper's really good in the server room. But I wouldn't say all teams hold that upper area. Puppy's like scratching herself. Yeah, Junkrat detonated the bomb. So yeah, I've seen it happen, but I didn't know you could det the bomb. So like he threw the sticky or the remote at the Reaper, at the Genji, and the Genji reflected it, and then he det it on himself, and it did damage. But that pick was huge because it just probably wins them this push. Because now he just has so much free reign, and this is just a free push for them. The Junkrat's just really hard to execute in general. Like I don't like it on this point. Maybe Seagull does. I would have preferred like a Genji, to be honest. But he's going to switch to Genji here because he needs roof control, but they're super far behind now in terms of ults. Like, Adam has ult, Dummy doesn't. Reaver has ult, Gods doesn't. Gods will get ult though, I'm sure, before Reaver pops his. But the Transcendence advantage is pretty big. The Winstons, they're not that far away from each other, and neither is Grego versus Pook. So the ults for this next fight are going to be pretty... even, but the big thing is that Surefour is going to get his Dragon Blade way faster than Seagull is, and a good Dragon Blade with like a drop the beat or a Transcendence can like really ruin them. Why is Mercy not in comps anymore? The reason why Mercy's not in comps anymore is mostly because Zenyatta's just too good. Like you're not going to not run Zenyatta. Like the 50% damage buff is very easy to execute. Like you just hit E. And Transcendence is like, you can't drop a Transcendence. Like if you die with res, you're like a useless hero. But sometimes you just can't use res. Like if a team dives a Mercy and the Mercy has res, right? And they don't kill anyone else and the Mercy just dies, it's like, why did I have this hero? But if a team dives a Zenyatta and the Zenyatta hits Q, then suddenly like the entire team can fight. And instead of like you'll probably get a pick on whatever was diving the Zenyatta. Like Zenyatta is just much easier to execute, and getting good reses off in a world where Dragon Blades can kill you, in a world where like High Noons are just really strong. It's just like Zenyatta does more damage, Zenyatta enables your team, and Zenyatta's way easier to get an ult off.
Get the kills they needed, and just sort of the
The ult's just good.
And their initiation, where it works out really well. And it's why Gibraltar in the past was one of their better maps. So C9 starting things out with bang, and here is the real test here for LG.
But they're just getting free card time here with Grego.
Where teams can hold for a long time, but right now with Milo going down,
I don't know what just it's hard to tell from these angles like who's doing what, but this push is just really smart. So like that small advantage that C9 had with the Transcendences like is gonna make a huge difference here. Because Adam just popped Transcendence to save Surefour. Surefour was probably going to die there. Granted, Grego's still just pushing the cart by himself. Like, this cart's still moving. But Milo dying is massive. I don't know how he died. I guess Kai like went on him with someone, but with Surefour rather. But the fact that they have Transcendence now and there's no response, like if Dummy had Transcendence there, he could have saved Milo, and the fight's very different. But since he didn't, and then now Adam got it like that little bit quicker, he can save Surefour, and now they can just snowball. Like this is massive from Surefour. Like Dummy still has Transcendence, and now he can't use it. So like he just not only did Dummy like it's such a big kill there for Dummy to die because not only do they have Transcendence, now it's like delayed by another like 6 or 10 seconds. I'm not sure how. I'm assuming that there's like a massive hold on the last point because this is looking like a very big stomp from C9. And what's nice about this is that they can cap this easily with just dropping a Diva ult to like secure the card cap.
You know that death is approaching. There's nothing. He's just like wildly throwing out orders like stay away from me. Surefour though absolutely going wild. The 3K setting things up.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was good. I mean, it works, but he probably could have saved that Diva ult for like the point if they got in because the cart wasn't moving fast enough for that Diva ult to like actually stop them. Like it slowed them down a little bit. And somehow they killed Milo. I don't know what just happened. I actually don't know how Milo died. I'm assuming they all just overloaded him. But I feel like they might have had a little bit more success if they saved the Diva ult for like 5 seconds, like right now if he was just on the cart. But it works out because Milo dies. But Dummy popped Transcendence. And he popped Transcendence on a team that has no ults. I'm not sure what's about to happen here. I don't know why he popped Transcendence or how he popped Transcendence because Milo still died. Maybe Milo died. Maybe Milo got low from the mech suit explosion, and then Lucio just finished him off. But that was weird.
And C9 is flying through this hangar phase right now. Kai getting right into Gods. Not like Gods do.
But Kai's playing really well here because like he's just making space. Like he just did so much with so little health just from using defense matrix well. Like, okay. I don't like this play from LG because they committed so much. Like they literally just wasted so much of like any advantage that they had. Like C9 had a good push before, like just now. Like Kyle was the only person with ult on that Diva. Like he drops the ult up here, it kills Milo somehow. That's fine. You have to assume though, like once Milo's dead, like where is your defense coming from? Like what is keeping you alive here? Like, they have these 3 squishy heroes. They have a Zenyatta, a McCree, and a Genji. They don't have a Reinhardt, and the Winston's literally dead. So, like, popping Drop the Beat and Transcendence here is, like, questionable because you're not even getting the Winston with it. Like, you're relying so much on this Dragon Blade, but there's no, like, cover for the Dragon Blade. Like, Seagull's not just going to run at C9 and get like a 5k with a Dragon Blade. Like he gets Grego, fine, but they still have a Winston to deal with him. They still have Reaver is still here, and they still have Surefour. Like they need the monkey to like make this Dragon Blade work, but they don't have the monkey. So like they should literally just give up the second point so that they can have a better fight on the third point as opposed like now like I don't know how LG wins this game. I'm assuming like some crazy shit happens on the third point, but this having no ults for the third push is massive, and like I don't like the play at all. But whatever.
Takes him out. The Dragon Blade throw is over, and C9 with a whole lot of momentum right now as they try and finish this out, and they should be able to get this point, Josh.
Yeah, string of ultimates coming out from both sides.
Like this is the same thing again. Like they just wasted 5 ults on defense. Like literally 5 ults. Like 5 or 6. Like they have none. They actually have none. Kyle's like Reaver's about to have High Noon. Adam's about to have Transcendence, and like. Surefour's about to have Dragon Blade. Like, I don't know what happens here, but they should just run them over. Maybe they do run them over. Maybe they both run each other over, and that's how this map ends. But that's like, you don't want to do that. Like, you really don't want to drop 5 ults at the same time on the second point, because now there's just like potential for them to just run at you, and you just lose. Like, teams don't realize this yet, and it's like kind of silly to me that they don't. Is that like you can't drop 2 defensive ults to stop the second point of a map, because if you don't have any defensive ults, like the game is a lot harder. Like they're banking so much on Enigma right now to like keep them alive, and Kyle switched to like what's it called? Zarya's just good. Like don't get me wrong, but for them to run it on defense is kind of risky because they shouldn't even have enough time to do this. That's just a big play. The only criticism I have is that I would have waited like a little longer for the cart to move up. Like C9 knew that C9 just dropped 3 ults, right? 3 or 4? 3. They dropped Transcendence. They just dropped Transcendence and 4. If the cart was like up where it is now and they did that, it might have been better. But I'm gonna say that them doing it that early might bone them because they're gonna give LG time to spawn before the cart can possibly cap.
And this is all sorts of bad news bears right now for LG, as this might be an unbeatable time if C9 is not stopped in just a moment.
That one shot with the Discord and the lead.
I'm just go flying off the map. What just happened?
Yes, I think no, he did get knocked.
Wow.
He's dead. Seagull was able to get back.
Oh my goodness,
no.
that helped C9 so much. Huge source of damage gone. Now Milo and
Surefour is just getting kills now.
Well. Surefour just triple starring into Dummy's face. This will not last long for Luminosity. Cloud9 about to set a
do they hold?
time on Gibraltar.
Pretty impressive. I don't know if that does this justice.
How did they lose? It was really good. Like everything that just went right went right.
Yeah, it's 404, I think.
Oh, only
it worked because they staggered their ults. Like they had dropped the beat still, and they had the monkey ult. So the monkey ult, like that was a really good monkey ult. Like you're not gonna see a better monkey ult than that, really. Like you can't ask for more from a monkey ult. Like watch this monkey ult for a second. Like haha, Winston, no aim, no brain. But like, watch this monkey ult. Like all they have to work with right now is this high noon and this monkey ult. But like watch how much they get out of this monkey ult. With like Kyle hits him with a bubble, and now there's just a bubbled Winston ulting in front of your face. And watch this. He comes in right here with the bubble, and he just like throws people off the map. Like look at this Genji. This Genji just went flying. Like physics, please. Like I don't know if he like knew that that was gonna happen. If like he could like he just somehow knew that that was about to happen. But like. This just destroys him. Like they just removed the Genji from the fight in one jump.
With the Discord and the leap down in the Dragon Lake. Is that a Genji about to fall off the cliff?
Yes, I think no, he did get
and the fact that they popped those 5 ults on defense on that second point, like bones them so hard here because they have nothing. Like if they had a Transcendence here, they could hold. If they had a drop the beat here, they could hold. But since they blew both of them to try to stop the hanger, they have neither and they just can't hold. Like either of those ults would be enough for them to win this fight, or at least like hold for another minute. But the fact that they dropped them both over there is like so game losing. Like even if they had won the fight, they'd be down to you really don't want to have to drop the beat and pop Transcendence in the same fight on defense. Like that's just like a rule you should have in your back of your mind, is like don't do it, because you open yourself up to pushes like this. Like there were so many times where LG should have just accepted the fact that they lost, or just been more proactive with their ults. Like let's back up. Like that was a really good push from C9. Like that's the end of the map. But like let's look at where it went wrong. Like why it went wrong. And it goes wrong in the hangar before this push even happens. Okay.
This game for LG has 1 kill.
Is it this? No, it's before. It's when Kai pops his ult. Okay. This is where it just goes to shit. Like this is where they actually just lose the game.
You know that death is approaching.
Right here. Alright, Kyle's gonna ult, and it's gonna delay them like tremendously, which is fine. But this monkey can't die here. Milo is getting shredded by something, and I'm not sure what it is.
Stay away from it.
Like, pop Transcendence now, save your monkey, and just go fight. Like, right here is where you're supposed to pop the Transcendence and go in with the monkey, and that's it. Save the Lucio ult. Like, the Lucio ult isn't going to do anything. Like, it's not worth popping both, because you're going to lose. But now Milo's dead. That half second of time that it took them to like think about hitting that ult was enough for them to lose the entire like match, because this Transcendence just lost them the fight. Like if he had popped it a second earlier, he could have saved Milo, because Milo dies to fucking Lucio clicks, dude. Like he would still be alive now and have his ult, and they could fight this into nothing. The only ult they have is Gregor's drop the beat, and he's not going to have it in time. So if they get in there with a monkey on Surefour or Adam or Kyle, like they're going to kill one of them or two of them, and then they can just reset. But this combination of him dropping this and this monkey ulting, like not getting his ult off, is just bad. Like it lost them the game. So it like forces their hand so hard here. Like Pooks needs to know right now that he can't possibly drop the beat. But he's going to drop the beat anyway. Because someone's like, alright guys, we have to fight this. But you're fucking down your monkey, you have no Transcendence, and you literally have 0 tanks on the map. Like, what are you gonna do here? You can't fight this. Like, they try to fight this here. Seagull's like, okay, I'm pounding. But like, what did he just do? He just dropped the beat to save a McCree that already wasted his high noon? and on a Genji that doesn't even have Dragon Blade. So like, this can't be a thing. Like this, like Milo's still fucking dead. Like if you drop the beat on a Winston, then it's like really strong because now there's a Winston with armor and like shield or whatever. But this is just like really poor execution and like completely why they lost. Because they just didn't have any defensive ults for the next push. So like C9's time is like super good. I don't know what happens on offense though, because it says that they went to game 3. Maybe it was a best of 5. I'm assuming maybe it was a best of 5 and they got 3-0'd. Because I don't know how C9 can lose this. Alright, so Reaver's just like, I don't know if this is on purpose or if they're just like, Reaver's like, fuck it, you played Junkrat, I'm gonna play Junkrat. But that would be like my guess as to what happened here. Like they're just so cocky because their time was so good. Like this 4 minutes is really respectable. Like C9 has to like pull off some fucking miracle to beat this time. And like C9 knows that like they just had such an easy push that there's no way that they'll let that happen because they'll save their ults correctly. Or they'll use their ults more correctly. So this might just be Reaver being cocky. Like I don't know if he actually wants to play Junkrat here, but he probably is just like, fuck it, I'll play Junkrat if he thinks he can play Junkrat and do it better. Because that's like Reaver's personality, so it's like, fuck you, I'll do it better. So like, let's see what happens here. But they're going to take a different approach, it looks like, and not hold the roof and just do it from the server room. We'll drop the beat, feed ult. You don't get ult from damage done to Lucio shield or armor or whatever. It needs to be like damage on their health.
You lose the will to fight so quickly, and after only a couple minutes in this match, that's gonna happen if they don't just blaze through. Seagull trying to take those long-range shots, but look at this, the defense is entirely posted up in the server room. No one's gonna get in there.
And for C9, again, this is a case where they don't even have to win too much here. They just need to win maybe one team fight.
Right.
And you just sort of, I mean, they can sort of half-heartedly go into this and just make sure that they don't...
This is an awkward position though for Reaver, but it's pretty easy for him to hit this angle. Like, if they go up top, he has a pretty easy line of sight to shoot them. But it's not as, it's just nice because you can shut down the entrance to the server room. So like, let's talk about their game plan, I guess, from this position. Like, if you look at this, it's super hard for them to come in because you can't push this left side doorway because this Junkrat will just eat you alive. You push up top, you're gonna eat rollers too because this angle is pretty easy to shoot. Like as long as you know how to shoot up there, like you're gonna hit rollers. But mostly the problem here is that the offense from LG, the only heroes that can get up top on this balcony thing, which is like ideally where they want to push from, is the Genji and the Diva. I mean, the 2 healers I guess can get up there, but the Reinhardt doesn't want to get up there because someone has to push the cart. And you ideally want to get everyone up top here to drop down because the Winston, or not the Winston, the Reinhardt from C9 with the bubble is like so scary. Like they don't have anything to kill the bubble right now. Like Kyle shouldn't really die, I guess. Like he might get killed by gods or something, but he shouldn't really die. It's just hard. Like this position is just good from Reaver because he can deny all 3 of these angles pretty easily, and if he ever gets in trouble, he has Kyle to save him with the bubble. So like that's pretty much their game plan, is they're just gonna hold this specific angle and not let the cart turn this corner because they can keep, like they have line of sight on every single entrance of the map.
But they can't just sit here and leisurely trade off poke. They need to go in as risky as it might be and get a few.
And like playing Genji into Zarya is pretty hard in general. Like Seagull's gonna have a hard time this game.
Really just focus on whatever's standing there. Try to, you know, do your best to either ignore or get in from behind on that DPS coming out of the server room.
Dummy died first there once again.
This is so cocky from Surefour. It works out, but that was really cocky.
Point of contention. And with Dummy being
that's just him like flexing there. Like he had no reason to go for that. He was gonna, like, God was gonna die, but like if God said flashbang him, he could have potentially died.
Which it very well likely might be.
The good thing is though that they traded from C9. Like C9 got 2 kills and they got 2 kills, so it like gave them time. And this is like one thing to remember about this map is that the spawns for defense are actually better. On this first point, on this capture point, like it's closer for you to walk from defensive spawn than it is for you to go from offensive spawn. So trades on defense aren't as bad as they are on other maps where it's like super hard for you to cap. Like if this was King's Row and they traded on offense, offense would be in the, like offense would like love that trade, but since the defense has the spawn advantage on this point, the trades are pretty good on defense. Like they're okay with trading. You don't really want to trade on defense in general, but if your spawn's closer, and you can hold with your heroes. Like all they lost was one DPS player, and they lost one DPS player. So it's like now it's just like a Genji versus a McCree and Zarya, as opposed to like whatever they still have here. They still have like Genji and Diva and Milo. But since the defensive spawn is closer, it's okay for them to trade, and it like works out in their favor. Like it's not that big of a deal that Reaver died because Surefour took Gods out at the same time. And I think Grego had gotten a kill on Milo or something. That was crazy. That shouldn't have happened. But again, that's just Surefour should have just stayed with the Reinhardt there. Like that's just him being cocky, and it like gets him killed. Which now puts them in a pretty rough spot.
On the way, will the Tire take out anyone? That could be a big push killer in himself. The Tire is still alive. The Tire is rolling. Milo's
oh my god.
Does not kill Milo.
Only some shield damage there. Seagull does have his Dragon Blade available here to try.
So this is like, it's kind of misplay. It works out. Because like the good thing is that they held that first push. So like Kyle has ult, Adam has ult, Surefour has ult, David's about to have ult. Like him Dragon Blading here with 150 health, if Dummy doesn't get to him, they're gonna lose because Adam's just gonna hit Q. If Adam hits Q, this push is over. And Adam instantly hits Q because he knows like the only way that they lose this fight is if Surefour gets a double kill, or Seagull gets a double kill rather. Like no hesitation there. Like I'm just gonna hit ult on Adam. Like he knows like I need to hit ult here. But these two get disconnected again, and it's just an execution thing on LG's part. Like if Seagull was with Dummy, they could have at least like maybe forced out the black hole from Kai, because they would have like made them had to react. Like maybe if Dummy waits like half a second after Adam, they have like time to get a few swipes in, but then they don't. Like they didn't have that. Like Seagull went so far away from Tim that they didn't get anything out of this Transcendence or this Dragon Blade. So now they're essentially down 2 ults for the price of, I guess they dropped the beat too, it looks like, which was kind of unfortunate. But Adam made the right play, and Kyle still has Black Hole, Graviton Surge. So like there's really no way for them to lose this fight because Kyle's like sitting on 99 charge. Like this is like such a good position. Dummy is new though. I mean, I'm not like blaming him or anything. It's just like a team thing. Like it's not Tim's fault that he wasn't with the Genji. It's like both of their faults. Like they just need to refine that shit. Like it's like a very obvious issue, or it's like it's very obvious what goes wrong when you watch the VODs back, like why they lost fights and stuff.
No way LG will bring it back. I would eat a hat live.
We're not going to send them to the lobby though. That's a little disrespectful.
But one thing I want to note, I guess, is like they don't have an answer to Kai. Like they really don't. Like there's no. Kai has this health pack behind him to save him, and they don't have any way to like stop a Zarya. So it's like you kind of like they don't switch their lineup at all on LG, and I think it's like kind of silly. Like I would have liked to see Enigma or Seagull just go Reaper, because at least Reaper can like phase out of Junkrat traps. He can kill the Zarya, and like he can kind of deal with the Reinhardt. But this is such a hard push to take because of the Zarya. Like the Zarya has so much room. She's just gonna charge up on the Diva. The Genji can't touch her. Milo can kind of touch her, but like that's it. But she has Black Hole now. Like there's no way for them to deal with Kai. And like that's a problem from them on an offensive standpoint.
Mathematically, this one, it is done. And it's just because C9 set 8.
And they can run plays like this. Like this hero just enables you. Like people watch this VOD and be like, oh, my Reinhardt would have charged there and died, but like he can charge there for free because he has the bubble. Like the bubble just makes the Reinhardt better. And like they're just gonna abuse that because now like what are they gonna do here? Oh my god. Alright, so like this was risky as shit and like it pays off. Like Kyle was so fucked there because he had used his self bubble already. So he knew that the Diva, but the good thing is that he knew that the Diva didn't have suit because she had just thrown it. So there's no way for his Black Hole to get eaten there. So like what was nice about that is that he acknowledged that and just threw the Black Hole because there's no way for it to get like denied. And he gets like a 3-man Black Hole here. But this is just another rule. I mean, the time is super against LG now, so it's hard to like criticize anything. But if you have to drop the beat from the inside of a black hole, you're probably gonna lose. Like 9 times out of 10. Like, God's already dead, and they dropped the beat, and they're getting black hole. Like, the combination of these three things is just super in C9's favor. Kyle somehow survives this D.Va mech. Like, he probably should have died. And like 9 times out of 10, he probably would have died. But since he gets the black hole off, and they had dropped the beat, like, this is like best case scenario for C9, even though they're down ults. I'm assuming, like, again, like, Milo has to hit a fat Earth Shatter, but this is a really good position for C9 to be in. He hit a 5-man black hole or something. And he survived and still has 100 damage. So he's just like, he's just so beefy and impossible to deal with, it's crazy. Like, they don't have an answer to him. And they won't have an answer to him. There's a tire chasing them into their spawn. What's up, Batman?
They're actually all still in spawn. It doesn't really matter that Surefour and company push them all the way there, but 52 seconds.
But like, this game is over right now. Like, they should just call GG.
Shuttle room at this point, so it's all.
But like, I would have liked to have seen this earlier. That's what I mean, the swap. I would have liked to have seen the swap earlier, and it didn't have to be Enigma. Enigma realized that running D.Va into no, they didn't leave LG. The team left LG. I guess that they weren't NRG yet when this match happened. The Tracer's good though. Like, Tracer's hard. Like, Surefour is the only answer to the Tracer. It's not bad. They have a super mobile lineup here. But this is one of those times where, like, if this was a C9 lineup, C9 would have swapped Milo for a Winston, because Winston enables Genji Tracer. Reinhardt doesn't do much for Genji Tracer. Like, you're running this Reinhardt now with a Genji and a Tracer, like, 2 heroes that aren't going to be behind the shield. So, like, what are you really shielding with Milo right now? Other than Gods? It's just like the hero's not as effective as it could be if it was like a different hero, I guess. It's hard to switch now because it's so late. Like, Milo's had this Earth Shatter forever, but he's never had an opportunity to use it, and most of that is just because of the fact that they're not playing around it so much. Like, the first push was so bad for LG that they just had no answer. Like, it's so hard to play Reinhardt when you're behind. Because Debit's had his shield up the whole time, and they can't really go for flashbang plays because Kai has the bubble to, like, save the Reinhardt. It's just like a really bad position for them to be in, but it's just, they don't have an answer. But back to the Tracer, it would have been better to have had this at the beginning or just had a Reaper. Like, they needed a way to kill Kai. Kai hasn't died yet, and it's just because they can't kill him. Like, they don't have the arrows to kill him. As long as Kai's positioning is good, like, they're not going to kill him. Whoa, I messed up. The 52 seconds. I always do this.
Left, honestly, not even enough to get through the shuttle room at this point. So it's all done.
Yeah, they don't have an answer to the shield, and they don't have an answer. Like, they don't have an answer to the shield or to the Zarya.
Too soon.
I'm not saying you need an answer to the shield, like, but you probably want something. Like, even a Roadhog here wouldn't have been so bad. But, like, you're not going to run Roadhog here, because the Zarya will fuck you. Like, you need a Reaper, pretty much.
They're going to have to pull the reverse sweep, and that is easier said than done, even when...
I thought this was a best of 3, so now I know who wins the next one, but, like, you can chalk this up to, like, very obvious mistakes, or just, like, a few mistakes can, like, lose you matches in this game, and, like, it's very hard to tell that can't happen. But, whatever, it's GG. And it's GG because there's, like, stubborn about their picks, like... They need to switch these heroes. Like, you can't kill the Zarya. Like, your lineup actually can't kill a Zarya, and, like, you have to acknowledge that your lineup can't kill a Zarya. Like, even this Junkrat's been alive for way too long. Like, you need a hero. Like, you should run your own Zarya. Like, run a Zarya and a Reaper, and run at them. Like, run Zarya, Reaper, Winston if you want, and, like, bubble a Winston or something. Like, you need an answer to this Kai Zarya, and you need an answer to this Reaver, like, Junkrat. Like, a Zarya is so good against a Junkrat. Like, when I was playing, if I see a Junkrat, I just go Zarya, because I can just stand in rollers, and my teammates can stand in rollers, and you just instantly get 100% charge. You don't have to do anything. You just, like, stand there and eat shit, and you get rewarded. So, like, an offensive Zarya would have been good here. An offensive Reaper would have been good here, because, like, what do they have against the Reaper? They just have, like, the Junkrat's alright, but Kai will get shredded, and Debit will have to, like, worry about this Reaper. Or maybe even just a Zarya Tracer would have been good, because you can just bubble the Tracer while he goes in and, like, fucks around. But you need, I think you need an offensive Zarya here against this. at the least. And ideally, you probably want a Reaper too. I don't know. That would be like my suggestion here, but the ults were just like poorly executed and like that was enough for them. So let's see what happens in map 3. I don't know the map. Hopefully, if it's Koth, I'll just cut the stream because I don't really want to watch Koth. It's Hollywood. And Hollywood's like a really good map to watch, I guess. But this is a long VOD, so hopefully it's not like that long of a map.
Favor, because I think they're dummy.
Okay. This is map 3. This is Hollywood. So like, let's just look at the lineups. God's on. They don't have a McCree, and like, I don't know why they don't have a McCree. Maybe they just don't want to play McCree here, or they just assume that Debit's, like, they know Debit's probably going to play Winston. They probably play each other enough times on this map, or maybe they haven't, but they probably expect the Winston. But this is a very aggressive lineup from C9. Like, pretty much the strategy is speed boost in, throw the monkey at them, bubble the monkey, and then just have, like, these 3 DPS heroes just, like, doing a shit ton of damage. Like, a bubbled, harmonied monkey with Kai in the back, with Reaver there, and like Surefour like flanking is like very strong, and like that's their strategy pretty much, and it's like solid, makes sense. The defense from this team though, all of their damage is coming from, like, they're relying on this Zarya getting charged, which is pretty, I would say it's not that hard for her to do. Like, Gods and Zarya need to do a shit ton of work here because the only answer that they have to Surefour is Seagull. Like, there's no answer to this Tracer. I don't know if they, like, knew what was coming. Like, the Tracer normally would be bad because most teams run 76 Widow or, like, McCree. But since they're not running any of those heroes, the Tracer's going to be fine.
Going to be on Zenyatta, Pooks on the Lucio, Seagull, of course, on his Junkrat, and Milo and Reinhardt. And they're going to have to throw some curveballs here at C9. They can't play this normal. They certainly don't want to get rolled over at the very beginning. Otherwise, I think their odds of actually turning this in their favor not going to be good.
But it's like, I don't know. Maybe they played enough. Maybe they played each other enough to know that C9's not going to run the McCree, or LG's not going to run the McCree rather.
Saw that on the entry, of course, and already getting down to 22 health is a solid start. Surefour not even using rewind, just getting back to his team to get some heals instead. Got a little bit of a poke fight. Nothing too crazy happening. No leap in.
But the nice thing here is like Kai's probably going to be very charged, very fast because of the Junkrat. Surefour is just making so much space right now. I don't know if he's going to die here, but he's just making them turn around. You check Twitch versus sometimes. This was such a crazy. This was like such a crazy push actually. So like, they executed this like almost perfectly, and it comes down to like the ease of execution versus like the difficulty of execution. And like, this is like a thing that happens in Dota where like you'll pick a lineup that's like kind of hard to run. Like, it's not effective. Like, it's like it's a good lineup, but it's super hard to make work. And like, that's kind of what happened here, right? Is like Surefour goes in from behind and suddenly Seagull is not looking at the choke anymore. And like, their whole damage in the choke is fucking dependent on Seagull spamming this choke. So once Surefour gets in the back and he forces 3 people to fight him in this house, there's just all of a sudden a monkey, a Zarya, and a McCree in through the front. And they don't have an answer to it. They have no answer to this Tracer. Like, the only way the Tracer dies is if he's out of position or eats a pipe. Like, there's no way that he dies. And again, I don't know if Surefour knew that they weren't going to run McCree, but the fact that they didn't run a McCree just makes his life so easy. Like, he gets the double kill because there's actually no way for a Reaper or a Zarya to kill him. So it's very easy for them to execute this strategy. Like, all they did was run a Tracer in behind to distract, and then they just threw bodies through the front. And like, what are you gonna, like, no one on their team can kill a Tracer. So like, it's over. Like, the Tracer just wins because he's a Tracer and they don't have an answer to him. Look at him, he's just mowing them.
Surefour right behind. Reaver now coming in at the clutch. Take out 2.
That was a good.
It
was a good trap, but it's not gonna matter.
Too low, too late. The offensive reinforcements from C9 will be getting here early.
It was too little, too late.
And
that's what I mean. Like, that was such an easy execute. They just put a monkey. They just put the Tracer in the back, and the monkey jumps with the bubble. It's like such a straightforward strategy. We'll see if any of them switch classes. They need a McCree though, and they still don't. Now they have a McCree. So they switched their heroes. They switched Enigma to Diva. He wasn't on Diva already. He was on Zarya. They got rid of the Zarya. They kept the Reaper, which is fine. And they switched to the Gods McCree. And they need the McCree, because they need to kill Surefour. But Surefour switched. So now they're pretty much reset, like both teams are pretty reset. The only difference is that they have so much better ult advantage on offense because they only had to switch the Tracer, whereas the defense had to switch the Junkrat and the fucking Reaper and the Zarya. Like, they just gave up 3 ults. And they had a Reinhardt. They just gave up 4 ults. This is such a hard position to play from. Like, it's hard to like explain, I guess what I'm trying to say is like you can't run a first point defense that needs to swap that many heroes. Like, Kyle picked this lineup, I'm assuming, right? And he just said like, all right, we're gonna run the monkey with the Zarya and it's gonna be good. And it's gonna be good the entire map. Like, not having a Reinhardt's kind of hard, but that's where the Tracer came in. Like, the Tracer made it so they didn't need the Reinhardt to get through the choke, because the Tracer made them turn around, so they don't even fucking need the Reinhardt anymore. So, like, now they have this perfect lineup to attack, and LG had to swap 4 heroes. Like, they just swapped 4 heroes. All they have is defensive ults. Like, they don't have an answer to this Kyle black hole. Like, they're gonna have to drop the beat or get a Transcendence up, but the fact that they had to swap 4 heroes is like very detrimental to their defense. Like, I would assume C9 is just gonna roll through this point, and it's not gonna be because like LG played bad. It's gonna be because they just like got out strategized. Like, they have 5 people on this roof, but they have to kill Kai first. Again, Adam gets Transcendence so fast. Like, they don't have an answer to Transcendence. If they can get a kill with this Transcendence, it's huge. Ooh, that's a big pick. I would argue here that they didn't need to go on the roof. Like, I would say that like C9 really didn't have to go on the roof here. Like, they had a massive advantage. They could have rolled with the cart and just taken the cart. The reason why I think that this was a mistake is because the only answer they have to the D.Va is the Zarya. So like, D.Va can push people off the roof and shit, and so can Milo, but Kyle never went up top, so Kyle's still stuck with his ult that he had before. If they just played the cart with the Winston bubble and the Zarya and just made them drop down, as soon as LG dropped down, they could have popped Transcendence, because Dummy wouldn't have had it still. Like, he hasn't now because he's been healing, but they wouldn't have been healing if they didn't do damage. So they could have just made LG drop to the cart and then pop Transcendence. But since they went to the roof, they popped Transcendence in an awkward position, like while they were falling off the roof. So like half the team didn't even really get caught. Like, they all got caught by it, but it wasn't as effective because they couldn't use it offensively because they were doing damage into a D.Va that had like a shield up, or the Matrix. But if Kyle was with them, or if they had fought with Kyle, like, it doesn't matter who goes where. Like, maybe Kyle needs to be on the roof, but then no one's pushing the cart. If they had Kyle there and they popped Transcendence, Kyle would have charged his ult on the D.Va and had ult right now. But now they're just down people. So it's like, there's different ways to have played it, but I don't think that they played it the most optimally. What's nice though is that Reaver gets that kill on Seagull, and then somehow Debit kills Enigma. Like, they make up for it with just better individual play here, and like abusing the fact that like half of LG stayed on this roof and half of them fell to the floor, where it has to be like all or nothing. Like, you can't retreat with half your team. Like, Enigma dies, Dummy pop Transcendence again. I don't know why, on who. They just don't have Transcendence now. I'm assuming that's him right there popping Transcendence. I don't know what's happening though. I don't know why he popped Transcendence. Whatever though. I don't know who calls on LG though, by the way. So I don't know the answer to that question. But now Kyle has his ult. Like, they're popping ults here after people are dying. Like, if I go back here, let's talk about this. Kai, 6% charge, like 6 charge on his Zarya. Like, he has nothing. Like, that's not enough to do anything. And like, that's fine, because they had just gotten the kills. Like, Reaver just killed Seagull for free after Surefour died. Surefour died first in this fight, mind you, but they had ult advantage and like heal advantage. What should have happened is they should have grouped around Dummy and taken a fight with Transcendence, and then fought C9, because C9 had already popped their Transcendence because they were out of position. Like, if they had popped Transcendence on the roof and C9 and LG just stayed on the roof, they'd have Transcendence right now, and they could just go and drop down on the cart and like try to focus Kai before he gets his black hole. And that's like the ideal scenario. Like Seagull would still be up, and they could just dive bomb the shit out of Kai and then win the fight that way. But they don't. Like, they let Seagull die. Seagull dies by himself, and then Enigma dies by himself. So like, that's a massive problem. If they had just stuck around Dummy and they all just stood on the roof and not fallen off and chased kills or whatever, they'd be in fine position right now, like on the roof with Transcendence, and they could just drop 5 people on the card, 6 people on the card. But like, Kyle is killing Dummy right now?
Let the defense come to us.
What happened here? What just happened? How does this happen? Are you guys watching the top left? Is that a bug? Like, thanks for the host, Bane. But what just happened? Like, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Like, Dummy has Transcendence here. And then Kyle melts him. Melt. Why do they switch the camera? But he's still melting. Melting. Dies. No ult. Like, I don't know what happened here. Like, if someone wants to explain to me what happened here, but I actually have no idea. Oh, what's up, Bane? But I don't know how they. I don't know what just happened. This might be a bug. Like, whatever.
Let the defense come to us. Makes sense.
It's working out. I mean, God's has been up here.
Or he didn't die. He popped Transcendence. Yeah, he never died. He just popped Transcendence. But why not just die? This is such a bad play, actually. And like, I'm not trying to like rip on anybody. Like, I'm just being like critical. Like, watch. He's gonna die. He goes so close to dying. He doesn't die though. He hasn't gotten the X yet, so that means he didn't die. Now he's just invulnerable. I guess that's what happens on the UI when he pops ult, is he goes invulnerable. So his health's going up now.
Yeah, let the defense.
He heals himself.
Come to us. Makes sense.
It's working out. I mean, God's has been up here on top the entire
And he
time.
gets Milo to live, so that's good. But he saved himself, and now he dies anyway.
Is laying in the damage debit.
So like, there's way too much chaos right now, and like C9 will just destroy you with chaos. Like, they're so focused on like their positioning that like, it's so hard to play against this if you're not equally as like structured. Because you have no pressure here. Like, there's no time set. Like, you don't have a time, like, you're not playing a clock. Like, your only goal is to stop them as fast, like, as much as you can on defense. Like, you want to go first on offense generally when you like have the option to say like, do you want to attack or defend first? Like, you want to attack first most times, because you set the pace and like you force the enemy team to have to play around the clock that you set. Like, there's no pressure on you as offense at the beginning because you just have to finish the map, and then you like force the enemy's hand because they have that time to play around, and you know what time you have to hold for, so you can like adjust yourself mentally on that second round. But if you're on defense in the first round, like, you have to just be trying to play the clock if you're not going to play the win. Like, if you're not going to full hold, you need to just play the clock effectively. And this is really inefficient. And like, the reason why it's really inefficient is because Seagull died, Enigma died, Pooks dropped the beat or some shit. I guess he dropped the beat right now and died. Dummy popped Transcendence and died. And they popped Transcendence while Seagull and Enigma weren't even in the fight. So like, who's gonna get kills here? Like, who is gonna do damage? Like, Gods, they just popped 2 ults to get Gods to kill Kai, Surefour, Grego, like this entire team. Like, there's no way that you're gonna win here. Like, there's actually no way. Oh god, I hit the wrong button again. We fucked up, guys. Give me a second. Spoilers. And this is it. Surefour dies, watch. Alright, Reaver gets a massive kill, but half the team is in the FAC, half of them is in the roof. So Winston kills the Diva. Fantastic, because he has the bubble. This is great. Kai forces out Transcendence, but he should have never popped Transcendence. This is a really bad Transcendence. And then Pooks gets dropped the beat, right? Watch this. Pooks is like, oh shit, drop the beat. Pops on himself and just instantly dies because he gets high nooned by Reaver. Reaver pops high noon and just slams him. And now they just drop Transcendence and drop the beat. And they have no monkey, like the Seagull, I guess, he spawned in time for the drop the beat. But what did you just do? Like, you just dropped both of your ults that you need defensive ults to win the game. Like, you need drop the beat. You need Transcendence. Like, you can't win games on defense without using those ults one by one effectively. Like, you're better off just losing the fight and coming back with 6 people and popping Transcendence into them because Adam doesn't even fucking have it. And then if they drop the beat, you can drop your own beat maybe, if like you really need to. But the fact that they just blew all of their defensive ults or both of their defensive ults for nothing is like really game losing. And this cart is just going to keep going because there's no, like Kyle hasn't even had to hit fucking black hole yet. Like they need that, and this is the thing, like you need Transcendence to stop the black hole. Like if you're going to get black hole, you need Transcendence. Like you need that ult to save you. Like they don't really have the best combo. You probably need drop the beat for the black hole, ideally. Probably not both, but you need an answer to the black hole. And now they just don't have one because they just wasted both of them at the same time. And since Pooks died, like Grego and Surefour can just go like do whatever they want. Like they can just speed boost in, or anyone can speed boost in and just kill whatever they want. And Kyle literally just fucking sat on the cart the entire time. Like that's all he did, and that's all he needed to do because they fed.
Nothing to complain about. LG on the other hand has a lot to complain about because this is just more of the same.
And they're not really going into this in the cast, and like that's I guess my criticism is I'd rather I kind of want to do this like more officially.
Absolutely brutal here so far. Looking ahead to next
because like I haven't watched these VODs before. Like I'm not like pre-recording this. Like this is all just like real-time shit. But like there's no answer. Like they're gonna win this fight. It's fine. Whatever. Like Kyle, like you just push them into their spawn. They spawn right here in like 5 seconds. If they blow an ult here on LG, it's so game losing. Kai can go AFK for the rest of the match. The puppy.
Is so close and a tighter choke, but now speed boost comes in. Graviton Search still available for Kai. He's not going to hit that button.
This is my dog.
He's gonna get some value out.
But yeah, like Kyle now is just feeding on this fucking diva. Like this diva, that was a fat black hole.
Inside actually blows away Kai, and he
they could have played that a little bit better, but it's fine, I guess, because like they're so far ahead here. Like there's no response. Like they had no answer to the drop. Like Grego dropped the beat, they have no answer. They dropped the black hole, they have no answer. Like, they couldn't survive the black hole. Like, Kyle dies, it's fine, whatever. And Kyle comes back as diva because he knows that they're in such a good position that, like, all he has to do is get back to the cart. Like, they're not going to need another black hole to end this game because they're so far ahead. Like, all they have is this Reaper ult, but a Reaper ult into a Monkey with ult or into a Transcendence, like, you're not going to get any kills. This Transcendence is so huge. The fact they still have this Transcendence is like enough for them to win the cart fight right now, I would imagine.
With very little effort again.
What's your Droop's name? Oh, that's Nika. N-I-K-A. She was named already. I adopted her like 2 weeks ago. She's pretty cute. But Reavers is zoning, fine. Look at this cart, dude. Like, they have no way to stop this cart. Like, Seagull's baiting the shit out of his team. Do they hold? They might hold. Looks like they hold. Okay, that was really close. And it was really good by Seagull, actually. Like, I criticized him, but that was a good play. The reason why it was good is because he waited for Transcendence to be over. And then he popped his ult. Like if he had popped his ult like a little bit less effectively, if he didn't get that ult off there, like they would have lost. Because the 2 supports would still be alive and they would have had the healing to kill Seagull there. But that was a really good play and it was really clutch. I don't know that and all it takes is one good fight like that. Like they were so down, like they were so out of this game, but now look at the ults. They just wasted all, they used all of theirs because they expected to win that fight. Like, I would have expected to win that fight, but they didn't win that fight. Like, they popped Transcendence, they didn't pop the spin. I'm surprised. And Kyle didn't have ult. Now, I think Debit used his, but now they're back to, like, decent on LG side. Like, he was at 50%, Pook's at 88, and, like, they're going to have defensive ults again. Unless, like, C9 hits some, like, fat plays right now, like, they'll probably win. But or LG is in a really good position, but all it's gonna take is like one really good Surefour ult. Maybe it's like a fat ult right now and they just win. I don't know what happens.
coordinated that.
Wow, my throat's so like dry.
Then Seagull jumped down for the Death Blossom. Everything worked to Luminosity's favor, but they don't have all these ults again now. They don't have anything. Cloud9's got
zoning.
Well, Pooks is about to get Sound Barrier, so I think there's a chance here. I think
So like right now, this Pook sound barrier, they need to play around it. Their whole team needs to get hit by this fucking sound barrier. They need to go take the fight. But look, that's all it takes. One mistake. So like, the game plan here is just bad, I think, from LG. Like, you know that they pop Transcendence. You know that they pop Drop the Beat. They don't have either of them. They don't. The Diva is a new Diva. It's a brand new Diva. They don't have Diva ult. McCreel, whatever. You don't care about McCreel. And you don't really care about... Like, you just keep tabs on where the Reaper is and you're not going to die to it. And they know that the Monkey doesn't have ult. If Dummy gets hit by that Drop the Beat and they hit a speed boost, they can speed boost their entire fucking team into C9's face and just roll them over. Like, they have the Zarya to deal with the Diva, they have the Reaper to deal with the Monkey, and they have Milo to like do whatever he wants. Like, Milo can just swing his hammer and he'll get his ult in like 5 seconds if he just hits Kai a few times. Like, they have everything they need right here to win this fight. They just needed to hit Drop the Beat and save their entire team and speed boost into them and just take a really, really good engagement and just make sure they didn't get killed by, what's it called? By Surefour. Or, yeah, by Surefour. Like, if they just keep tabs on Surefour's, like, ult, then, like, they'll win the fight. And that's not that hard to do because they have gods. Like, you hit a flashbang, he's dead. And it's very, like, you have to be proactive in this game. You can't sit back and, like, try to live. Like, the Drop the Beat wasn't that bad. It was just he got caught by the Winston bubble, and the Winston bubble blocked the Zenyatta from getting the Drop the Beat. So, but that shouldn't happen. They should have been using Drop the Beat to initiate, because, so like, this is a little bit advanced, or like more advanced, whatever. But like, you want to Drop the Beat there so you can get Zenyatta ult. Because if you have Drop the Beat, you'll probably win a fight. Like, you'll definitely win this fight if you Drop the Beat speed boost. Like, there's really no way for them to lose the fight unless they just get outplayed, like, hard. Like, they have every tool to deal with C9 right now. They just needed to go into them instead of trying to play this, like, super passive defensive mentality. And just, like, because you should know that the C9 doesn't have ults, because you just watch them use them. So this Drop the Beat should be big. Like, you should be like, all right, guys, we're going to speed boost him, we're going to Drop the Beat. But they don't do that, and then they lose Dummy. But if they had kept Dummy alive, they'd have Drop the Beat. They would have dropped the beat on Tim, on the Zenyatta, and Zenyatta would have ult right now. In like 2 seconds from like 2 or 3 left clicks. She's already at 83. Or he's already at 83. And then you have Zenyatta ult to play with for the next fight. And you can hold them for like another 2 minutes, or like however long. But whatever. They don't. The fact that Dummy dies though is huge. Like, Debit just went fucking ginormous. Like, you can't let a Monkey get away with this. And I don't really even know where Seagull is right now. He might be hiding up on that perch again, like baiting his team or whatever. And that's fine, like, whatever. But they should just be fighting into them. Like, the Reaper should be in the Monkey's face. Like, the Monkey shouldn't be in the McCree's face. Like, you have to, like, play around these things. Like, the fact that Debit just killed Dummy with ult and Gods when Gods has ult, like, he just won them this fight. Like, this is all Debit.
New pressure. Debit getting on the vital targets. 2 kills here for Debit. A 6v4 advantage. Seagull in the back line takes out Debit.
Like, this cart is just gonna move.
C9 filling the kill feed. It's Seagull versus the world. Unfortunately for Seagull, this is not good odds. He is taken out here on the point.
Like, it's very obvious what just went wrong, and like I just explained it. Like, you have to know that you're at that ult. Like, look, Tim's at 97. If he had fucking lived like 2 more seconds, dude. Like, just 2 more seconds. If he had gotten that Drop the Beat, they would have held. Because they have nothing. And, like, they even had Black Hole when they lost. Like, they had... All they needed to do was keep that Zenyatta alive. And you do that by initiating. Like, you can't let the Monkey initiate on you.
That is going to be...
Like, let's watch the opposite of this. I don't really want to rant too much, because, like, I'm getting heated. But, like, it's just, like, it's very obvious things that go wrong here.
We have another notable,
like, you need to be using those ults to, like, go get kills, not, like... You can't be using them defensively. You have to, like, literally just go in there and say, like, that's how we're gonna do it. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Biscuit Maker, why are you spamming emotes? So, like, I don't like this lineup. Oh my god. I'm gonna kick you. was easy. So like, I don't like this lineup, and I'll tell you why. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like this ult just, this combo just doesn't make sense. I don't know what happens in this push, but I'm going to tell you it probably doesn't work. And or if it does work, it's because they get Enigma's ult and Seagull's ult eventually. I don't know if they stay on this lineup, but this is like, it's a very, like, let's see what happens. I want to explain why it's bad, but I want to see if it works before I like criticize it too much.
We've seen that a lot of times here in Hollywood, but unfortunately, getting trolled a little bit. God's going to go to McCree, but Enigma, is he still showing Ana? Is this happening?
So Ana's very interesting here. Not only does Enigma not normally play support, this is a 3 support composition, but Enigma...
Alright, so like, let's just focus on what Joshy just said. Like, he's like, oh, this is a 3 support composition. The reason why 3 support is like really hard to use, or like the reason why it's bad in general, well, first, it is squishy. It's a squishy lineup. They have so much heals, but what happens is you wind up in this position, right, where you have these 3 heroes that like only build ult by healing. So like, generally when you had Mercy Lucio, it was very hard for Lucio to build ult. And that's another reason why Mercy's out of the meta that people don't really talk about, is because it's really hard for Lucio to build ult because Mercy can heal so fast. Like, it's super hard to build healing ults if someone's out healing you. Like, if you're playing Lucio in a pub and there's a Mercy, you're gonna get your ult way fast, like way slower than if you were just a solo Lucio. So like, amplify that, like take that to another like level and say like, we have a Lucio, we have a Zenyatta, and we have an Ana. Like, there's no way all 3 of them can be healing at like enough of a pace to like get the ults up fast enough that they're good. So like, that's where this doesn't really make sense to me. Like, I would prefer them to just get rid of the Zenyatta if they're gonna run the Ana, because the Ana can like counter the Zenyatta ults. So it's like hard. I don't know. It's just hard. Like, this is a very hard lineup to execute, but they do have like they have a shit ton of damage and they have like a lot of sustain. So like, they can maybe take a good fight here and win the first push. But if they lose the first push, like, they're not gonna have the ults that they need to go against C9's ults, because C9 will have their defensive like support ults way faster just because there's only 2 of them.
Sort of DPS supports, you could say. Always be shooting definitely benefits her.
Like, if Surefour gets this kill right now, which he probably will.
Immediately jumping onto dummy, has to rewind.
Surefour's just pissing them off right now. Like, he doesn't have to do anything. They're just afraid. Like, they're just afraid now. Like, and that's what this hero does. People think like, oh, Tracer's bad. I don't like Tracer. Like, they have a McCree. Why would you run Tracer here? Like, he doesn't even have to get a kill. Like, Surefour can literally just fucking sit here for another 10 minutes and not do anything. But that Zenyatta and that Ana are so afraid now to go forward. Like, if Gods tries to play aggressive, the supports are gonna die. If Seagull's gonna go in, and then it's just Gods versus Surefour. So it's like hard. Like, it's really hard to make this work. Yeah, Zarya is definitely better than Ana here. But I would say if you're gonna, like, Ana's not a bad hero. Don't get me wrong. Like, I would just say if you're gonna run Ana, get rid of Zenyatta. Like, they're interchangeable. I don't think that running them at the same time is good.
It slows down their entire offense. So I like.
But Surefour is just a thorn in their side right now. Like, they have no. They have to be aware of him.
He knows that Surefour is back here.
And like, a Genji's not going to beat a Tracer in a 1v1.
And while they're doing this, they're not going in on the cafe. Now they're going in the cafe, but it is slowed down. They know the positioning of everyone.
But this,
Surefour right now getting right into the back line will.
This is so cocky though. Their logic is like, oh, there's a Tracer behind us. Ignore him. Like, that's not the answer, man. You have to kill this fucking Tracer. Like, Gods needs to be shooting this Tracer right now. Like, this is so ballsy. Like, sure, Surefour lived with like 8 HP and probably could have hit his rewind a little bit faster, but this might just be like a replay thing. Maybe he hit it immediately. But, or a spectator bug or whatever. But like, they just needed to like send Gods back to kill Surefour. Like, if Surefour's dead, then you take the push. But you're like banking on the fact that he's gonna die somehow. And you don't even have the damage to like kill this team. Like, Kai, who's gonna kill Kai? Like, you run into this issue, the same issue. Like, Kai is just uncontested.
And this is a good take on defense that right now is working.
And Gods is just like, what are they gonna do here?
First point, Hollywood hold, which, by the way, not good for LG given the time they have.
Like, they knew where Surefour was that entire time.
Even though
They knew exactly where he was, and they're just like, fuck it.
Perfect moments. He's got a pulse bomb available this time around. Finding Seagull, preventing Seagull from actually doing any damage, definitely benefited them.
Note this though, on ult does charge really quickly, and they will have it here for the next fight. So it's probably gonna be going on Milo, Gods, or Seagull.
All right, and this is actually scary as fuck, and this is such a like, the timing of this play couldn't have been better from Surefour. I'm assuming he's about to kill this Reinhardt. But he wouldn't have killed, like, if Ana doesn't get this ult off on the Reinhardt right now, this push is dead.
One of the three.
He doesn't even get it. Ooh, that's unlucky actually.
The Ana ult is down and is going to be a fully charged.
What just happened?
Up Milo.
Debit just gets a kill on Enigma. And I'm assuming that Sticky Bomb hit Milo?
Milo.
Like, did it do damage to him?
Of the three.
No. Milo goes down way too low. This is just bad. And like, I'll explain to you why it's bad. They waited too long to hit this. Like, Enigma dies somehow. He gets killed. I think Debit hits an Earthshatter and kills him. Debit doesn't have ult. Debit hits Earthshatter. Kills Enigma after she pops her ult. Milo goes in with the Ana ult to build his ult, but Debit already has his because Debit, like, is just a god. I don't know what the fuck happened, but or Debet rather. But he waits too long to hit this Ana ult on the Reinhardt, so the Reinhardt just gets slammed. Look at his health. Milo's health is like so low. With like, so like you just waste, like, your whole strategy was based on this Ana ult. Like, you ran this hero specifically for the ult. The hero doesn't really do that much else. Like, the E is really good in like a prolonged team fight, but you ran it just for this moment and you didn't get anything out of this moment. So now you're just like, what the fuck? Like, what do I do here?
And C9 getting the kills they need to get. Seagull super wounded in the cafe, gets taken up by Reaver.
They're just so they're like so flustered here. Like, God's just like AFK here. I don't understand.
He's like, wait, no, we got heals. You don't have to die.
Kill me, do it now.
Oh my goodness.
Not gonna grant him.
And then as Shashi is like making Arnold Schwarzenegger noises or shit.
Looking at historical,
but Surefour's still behind them and they don't know it. Somehow they don't know it. He's just being annoying. Like, he's just super annoying right now.
Seagull comes into the back line. Dragonblade on the way, looking for that kill. Gonna run into it. Did I know he gets the deflect? The double kill from Seagull.
That was really good play from Brandon.
For LG. It's 4 kills for LG right now. Seagull makes it a triple in the end, and that is exactly what they needed. Reaver shot a little bit too early.
I'm gonna assume that Kaikai's gonna switch off that hero because there's no reason for him to black hole there if he wasn't going to. But that was just a really good ult from Seagull because he recognized that Adam didn't have ult, and like, that's all it took. He got kind of lucky though, I guess, because they didn't have an answer to him. Like, they didn't have any like flashbang there or anything, but it worked out. Like, it was a good play for sure.
Where was Surefour? I don't know exactly what happened to him, but Genji did not care. He was.
It was just really good timing. Like, they had the. Yeah, Kyle's gonna switch, and like, you knew Kyle was gonna switch because he dropped the black hole, so you should be looking for this.
I mean, let's be realistic here. This is not. This is still.
It's really hard to play Diva or Ana into Diva.
Plus, he got the side effect of embarrassing Reaver there.
What is this?
It's sort of win-win.
What is this? All right, let's talk about this for a second. This is like some pretty. This is some rookie shit. Again, I'm not trying to shit talk. I'm just being real. You can't. The way that this fight happened. Where is it? Let's talk about this fight. The cap point is at 0. Like, let's go back a little. Seagull gets this crazy ult, right? Look at the timer. Look at the countdown timer next to, or like the cap point circle thing. It's not touched at all. It's still not touched at all. Okay.
Seagull makes it a triple in the end, and that is
still not. So like, there's 4 people dead right now on C9. Kyle's about to die. Kaikai's about to die, right?
Exactly what they needed. Reaver shot.
So Kaikai dies. They're all dead. This cap point is still charging. Like, it just started charging. This is my last one. After this one, I'm done. Because this is the third of the best of 3 or the best of 5. I'll do some like another day if you guys want, but I'm done after this one because I have to walk my dog and stuff. But you guys should all follow me, thanks. So they're all in the black. Yeah, they were in the black hole and then they die. But look at the timer on this, and look at the spawns. Like, watch this. Watch this. So they can't get on point. So like, watch. Times 6, times 6 doesn't matter.
I don't know exactly what happened to him, but Genji
times
did not
6
care. He was just flying free,
times 2.
getting the easy kills and the...
Okay. Nobody. They still haven't capped, right? They still have not capped. There's still 2 people capping on LG. Everyone on C9 is alive. All 6 of them. They're not gonna get spawn camp because they're not idiots. So they all come out the right side spawn because if they go out the left one, they'll probably die. Right? So Adam's already outside, like Reaver and them, whatever. They're probably taking the elevator on the back. They have a Winston on the roof. They have a Reaper on the roof. And now they have a Diva just being annoying and we're gonna fight them on the elevator. So Kaikai's like, fuck, they're going on the elevator. And this might be a set play. Maybe they're just like really smart and they've planned this out. But like, Kaikai's like, fuck, they're on the elevator. So I'm just gonna be Kaikai and I'm gonna go jump them on the elevator. LOL, I'm a Diva. What are you gonna do? So like, if they had wiped them and then pushed up, they could have already been on the roof. Like, they wasted so much time with, they had times 6 on the point at one point. If they had just taken those 3 heroes, these 3 heroes, and gotten to the roof immediately, this wouldn't have happened. But since they like dicked around for like an extra 5 or 10 seconds, they just get fucking obliterated. And the only reason why is because of this. As soon as this black hole goes off, right here, team wipe. You see this shit? What's the time? 1:55. Team wipe. Alright. This is where it's just stupid. Like, this is just the bad. This is where it goes wrong or why it's bad. These people, only 3 of them need to be here. Times 6. As soon as the black hole ends, go through this doorway and get on the roof. They're like, haha, guys, we capped, yeah, stand on the cap, woo. And they're like, oh shit, now we have to move up. That extra 3 seconds that they just took, or 4 seconds, 1:55. It took them until 49. 6 seconds it took them to realize that they should be up forward. Is the 6 seconds right here that they could have used to get up the fucking elevator. So like, they literally only lose this fight because they didn't have the roof, and they only didn't have the roof because it took them 6 seconds to realize they should have been on the roof. And like, that 6 seconds like is all it takes to like screw up your push. Like, it has to be like instant. Like, fuck, we got black hole, get on the roof. Not like, fuck, we got black hole, let's celebrate on the point and jump around and then get on the roof.
If you can imagine the automatic ticket to the playoffs as a door slowly closing every second. Look at this, Seagull going off again, actually getting a lot of value out of that, but does it.
Sureford just went nuts, actually. That was insane.
Right now of the door just slowly closing on them. They're trying to shove their hand or foot in there to slow it down.
Dummy letting Sureford taste of the feet right there.
So they just got way more out of that Genji ult than I would have expected. Because they had 3 heals on him, like they had the Zenyatta orb, they had the Pook's heal, and they had the Ana. So they had a lot of ways to keep that Genji alive, and like that's where it shines. Like, they had the Genji ult with the Ana ult, and it just does a shit ton of damage. And that's where like your strategy is strongest, when you can get that combo.
I'm not gonna say LG is out of this just yet. They do have a chance. C9 basically has to lose everything.
C9 has no ults though right now, so I would assume that they're gonna lose this point, but the clock is so not in their favor.
Sneak around to the back and get this. There's a real opportunity. He's gonna move back forward with the rest of his team. And this is sort of a low risk play by
I'll let you guys know if I do this again.
Does knock down 3. Milo gets what he's looking for. Unfortunately, Reaver did take out Seagull early in this fight. Sureford comes in for the back.
That was so unfortunate, actually. I don't know what bumped Gods off the roof, but if Gods didn't fall off the roof, they probably got in triple. Then he throws his flashbang at Grego? Yeah, fucking Genji does like way too much damage with that ult. I think it's 300. It's like 150 a swing, and then it's like amplified by 50% or something, or more. I don't know. It's a shit ton with that ult. But he gets knocked off, and then he mistakenly uses his flashbang to try to kill Grego, and then Sureford's like, LOL, McCree just uses flashbang, why? And then he just hits Q. Oh no, I hit the button again. So right here. Like, watch this. He's like, haha, high noon. It's high noon, guys.
And this is sort of a lower risk play, but I wonder if it's
right here. Just hold this angle right now.
but here comes your
I don't know why he fell. What just did damage to him? If he just stood there, he would have gotten a double kill.
Does knock down 3. Milo gets what he's looking for. Unfortunately,
and he misses that flashbang, and then Surefour capitalizes. But Surefour hitting that ult right there is like massive. And again, this Transcendence is like way too late. I don't know if he had it 2 seconds ago. If he did, it was way too late. He needs to be hitting Transcendence right now and keeping gods alive. He doesn't have it though. 82, 84, 85, 86, 87, 90, 99. You have to hold it or use it. But like you can't pop it now because all you have is a fucking Milo. Like you just pop Transcendence to save your Reinhardt.
3 kills here from C9 despite that Earth Shatter. Coming out from Milo, LG is not getting the expected result. There just wasn't the follow-up there in position right after that.
It just isn't like, it's just like you use these ults incorrectly and you just lose games.
One more good team fight will seal this for C9 if it is not.
But that was just a really good play from Surefour and like I guess a lot of misplays from LG at the same time.
Satisfying the fact that he had all those targets laid out in front of him and still could not get the value out of it has to hurt. Seagull now as the Genji, only 33% of his ult.
But he really likes forcing this Genji. Like it's kind of hard to play Genji until Winston and Zenyatta.
Sitting up there just waiting for this team to loop around at the payload. Tibet's gonna leap in immediately, drop that shield. Transcendence is
see now this is how you should be using Transcendence. Just like get in their face and slam them.
Right now, right behind the cart. I mean, why not? He will live here. 2 kills for LG, but here's the problem from right now, Josh. Even if they win this fight, you look at the time that's on. Milo, of course, on the nano boost.
He could have stood still though. He didn't have to move.
Comes down again, knocks down 3. I don't think C9 cares right now because all they have to do is just get on the point.
See, this is super. Like this is where Anna